still think of that past. And too many fullness, and day after day. And too many fullness, and day after day. Your passion, take it from me. Ask you to you when to make yourself happy. Your passion, your passion, your passion. Ask you to you when to make yourself a hero. Without flowers, forget what they've wet. Both day after day. Without flowers blossom in the stream of tears, they still think of the past. And too many fullness, and day after day. And too many fullness, and day after day. Your passion.
What is good, people? It is the KOA podcast. I am Satsuki the Savage. He is everything animated. We are here on a Thursday afternoon. What is good, people? What's good, Trayvon, and everybody else that may be popping
Yes. Hello, Trayvon. Hello, new subscribers, because we got a couple over the weekend. And hello, everybody. Today is June the 5th. A couple days from now, it's going to be my birthday.
in? 2 days.
I'm going to be old man, 38 years old. I'm going to be 30 freaking 8. So much closer to 40, which is insane.
I was about to say, is 38 the age?
I don't know. I mean, I feel pretty much the same. I mean, who knows? Maybe when I reach 40, I'll tell you differently. It's like, how's it feel being 40? Well,
You just
my
drop
back certainly
Just
certainly doesn't feel it.
just drop off a cliff health-wise. Just
Hello, Decrepit Storm. Welcome on in.
yes,
And
people.
of course, if you're new, subscribe. We do this every week. We talk about seasonal anime. We talk about anime news. We even do some old ones instead of that are seasonal. This particular season, we decided to torture ourselves and do Future Diary. And we also do viewer questions. And essentially, we kill or pass things just based off of what we feel. You know, if it's good enough, we'll keep it going. If we don't like it, then we kill it. That's kind of how it works over here at the KOA.
Yeah, and pretty soon, because we're almost done with the season, we're 75% through it. Pretty soon we have to think about what's going to be the next thing that we watch, as far as since Future Diary is going to be gone, we could go in the same direction and watch another bad show, or we can watch a good show. But yeah, that's coming up pretty soon, and this week we have 2 shows that are up for Killer Pass. If you're unfamiliar with the format of this podcast, what we do typically is 20 through 25% of the season, meaning about 3 episodes or so. If it's a 12 episode series, we revisit the show and, based on the episodes that we watched up to the point, decide to kill or pass the show. Because we are missing C-Tactics, it has to just be a unanimous decision. So if both of us decide to kill a show, it gets killed. If one of us wants to pass a show, it passes. It's really that simple, just because of it only being 2 of us. So Lazarus and Apocalypse Hotel are up for kills or passes. And yeah, so I hope you're on the edge of your seat. But once we have our conversation, we'll have an answer whether we'll keep watching it or not.
Yes, sir. Well, are you feeling a little down there, Satsuki?
I'm actually feeling better.
That's good.
I'm actually feeling better because I was sick. I was sick for like 3-4 days. I don't know what it is, but I catch colds like I'm Randy Moss or something.
It's the future diary. You watch it
Yeah.
and your body just like gets defeated.
Is I think is like ripping apart my immune system that just makes me susceptible to every and any illness. But I do need some uplifting, especially after watching Future Diary. What do you got for me?
I got something to never give you the blues. Now let's get ready for the KOA.
It's Miracle!
So, not really much as far as anime this particular week, but a couple of things happened. Did you by chance watch a little bit of the PlayStation State of Play? That happened yesterday.
I didn't even know it was a thing. Someone had to tell me in my chat because I was streaming yesterday, and they told me, "Hey, you know the state of play happened." I went, "What?" I don't know. I don't know if that's a normal thing for it to be on that day, but I just was like, "Oh, well, I didn't realize."
Yeah, they do things during the week. I feel like a lot of companies are doing that now. They announced some future games, show some gameplay of some things, and yeah, nothing too spectacular. To be honest, the only thing that I saw that was even that perked my attention a little bit was the fact that you know how they had like a Capcom versus Marvel pack that had like 10 different games.
Yeah.
Same thing with Street Fighter. The same company is doing the same thing, but with Mortal Kombat, like 1 through 4, I think. And I'm
Oh,
just like, gimme. I'll
okay.
I'll gladly buy that and play that if it has like all the games in one set. I'll more than happy to do that. And then at the very end, they showed like this Japanese Marvel fighting game.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I was like, that's different. That's out of left field, especially because how popular Marvel is. I don't know if you play or have heard of Marvel Rivals, but that's like a huge thing right now. And almost thought it was going to be like a Marvel versus Capcom sequel or whatever, but it was just a straight up Marvel fighting game. So I
Mhm.
was like, "Huh, that's interesting."
Yeah, wasn't too tapped in about the state of play. I guess I'll find some things out later, see if there's anything I'm interested in. But
Hey,
it's
didn't
it's
really miss much.
yeah, I was gonna say it seemed very quiet. So
Maybe one thing was Silent Hill, where it
mhm.
looked like it was actually in Japan, and it was like a Japanese schoolgirl, and it was called like Silent Hill F, and you're like fighting these monsters as this high school girl, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of different, instead of the traditional where it's like dubbed, it's full on Japanese. So I'm like, oh, that's neat.
Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, nothing too much from the state of play. Decrepit Storm says, "When will we get a future diary vaccine?"
There
We
is
need
there
one.
there is no cure for this disease or
No, sure.
virus.
But last bit of news for me, uh, today was the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. So for all of you fans out there that were clamoring for the Switch 2, every like a couple of you, everybody was so excited. They're like, "Oh boy, we get to buy this game," only to buy the same game that we bought on the Switch and put it on the Switch 2 because we wanted to go from 720 to 1080. It's pretty much. Oh, and pay not $60 but 70 or 80, excuse me, to get it. So, if people that are looking forward to the Switch 2, good for you. I'm waiting, or maybe never gonna buy. I don't know. I kind of kind of iffy with them and upset with them with the fact that they decided to jack up the prices and set a precedence for, you know, modern gaming prices and shit. So I don't know. I'm not really looking forward to it, but hey, if there's a game that comes out that tickles my fancy, maybe. But as of right now, there's nothing.
Yeah. I actually need to. I'm about to confirm something really quick because I'm seeing something that happened with webtoons. I don't read a lot of webtoons, but and this is for the webtoon app, not just because there's a lot of different apps. But apparently they got rid of their daily pass feature, which
Fantastic.
yeah, if you're not familiar with webtoons, they have a whole catalog of webtoon series on that app, but you were able to basically unlock a free chapter for a completed series daily.
Wow.
I think that's how it works, but apparently they took away that feature. Now they still have the whole thing to where because how a lot of webtoons work, especially the ongoing ones, is that you have there's like an advance of 7 chapters or so. Let's just say 7. And you can watch some ads to watch about like 3 of her, or read ahead for like 3 of them. And from that point, it's kind of like a pay to read thing. You get a thing called Fast Pass where you buy coins off the site and then you unlock the chapters. So if you want to read ahead, you can read ahead because basically they have the chapters for free the next week, but it's just if you want to read it in advance. As far as I'm aware, that's all still present. I was checking the app to make sure that still was a thing. But yeah, the daily pass thing is going from webtoons apparently.
That's crazy. Trayvon said, Summer Game Fest is tomorrow. There's going to be new announcements of games coming out. Oh, yeah, I forgot this is around that time when all this stuff happens. It usually happens in the summertime where they start announcing new games because I know Summer Game Fest is tomorrow. Sunday, Xbox is having their own conference, and they're really hyping up the fact that they're going to be talking about games and not not TV or entertainment and stuff like that. They're like, we're focusing on games. And then I think after that, they have a press conference of Outer Worlds 2. I haven't had a chance to play it. I didn't even play the first one, but Outer Worlds is basically, if I could describe it, it's kind of like Fallout, but in space. That's kind of how I remind it. But yeah, should be some interesting stuff. Hopefully there's a game that, stands out and people are like, oh my God, I want to play that game. And then, you got to wait 3 years before you can play it. That's always the downside to these new video games, especially these new AAA ones, is that it takes so long to make these games.
Yeah. Well, I think that covers all the news that we have for you guys today. So we're going to go right into our shows for the spring season, with the first one being Shinichiro Watanabe's not finest, but latest work, Lazarus, episode 9. This is a kill or pass week for this show. After the discussion, we will see if we continue on with the show or if we drop it like it's hot.
Well, this got me in the mood for steak right off the bat. I mean,
yeah,
only guy in town apparently eating steak.
He cleaned the plate so much so that the employee just walked out and made sure he was okay. He was like, I don't think it's normal that you just eat steak and that's like you don't order a drink, you don't order any sides, just a steak and then you clean it. There's no meat left at all.
I gotta have a certain amount of protein every day.
Just like the fact that he was just concerned. He's like, I appreciate the business and everything, but are you like a bear's part bear?
Yeah. That was that. whole scene did transition into a scene that I thought looked really fucking cool. It was basically this man who had just cleaned and polished off a steak, walking in slow motion. I like how you describe it here. Basically, a music video. It looked just like that, but it was kind of, because I asked. I don't know when was this. Maybe it was a couple episodes ago, where I was saying, when are we going to start getting people panicking and just rioting and going crazy? Well, there you go. We finally got at least a little bit of that, where it just kind of like showed in a very artistic way that, some people are just not giving a fuck anymore and they're just taking out people. And maybe there would have been more context to it had that person turned to look, but we will
Ain't got shit to do with me.
Right. He walks over a dead body on top of that, which is bad luck, and just not caring, not giving a shit.
Trayvon said in New York City, that is some New York City type shit. Just see someone get brutally mugged or something, you just like, well, I need to make my train. How can I enjoy my stay without my drink?
You call yourself a delivery boy? Well, I ain't buying. And then SpongeBob just has a freaking breakdown among breakdowns. Yeah, that was very interesting and a unique kind of take, I guess. I was just like, wonder who this person's gonna be. Come to find out way later, he's kind of important. Kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Well, the next plot point, which I thought was very interesting, but it didn't really go too far into this plot point, at least not in this episode, is when Doug, is talking to Axel, who assumes that he wanted to go on a date. And he basically just asks him, hey, do you think we're actually going to be free after this whole Skinner thing? If we catch them, do you think they'll honor their promise? And essentially Axel goes, probably not. Because, this is, we already compared it to the Suicide Squad. This is an off-brand ragtag team, which is affiliated with the government, but it doesn't have enough connections, and it uses criminals in a way to where they can exploit them and cut ties with them at any time. It's supposed to be like a risky team that's formed because they're criminals, but safe in that there isn't or much blowback as far as public opinion and what the government go, because they could just go, that don't got anything to do with us. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I feel like with Hirsch's connection, she would want to honor her promise. She doesn't seem like the backstabbing type to me. It seems like she genuinely cares about this team, and as does Abel, because he's really the big wig in the whole operation. And he kind of showed his allegiance here, where his head lies as far as the team Lazarus, because they got in some shit with the NSA because they're discussing all the shit that they've gone through.
They did this. They went to Russia, blew up an offshore oil rig. They met up with a girl that said hardcore. They did all this shit. We want their heads on a pike. And Twist, Leland's a fucking rat. Yes, he's in Lazarus, but he's kind of working against them, so to speak, where he's reporting back to the NSA.
Yeah.
And he didn't really, he went to bat for them, so to speak, where he was just like, yeah, I feel like we're going to get Skinner, except for that one time when we rescued Chris. But for the most part, we're going to get Skinner.
Yeah, so it seemed that, well, not seemed, because we basically got confirmation on what that whole exchange was, because there's a guy who Schneider, Dan Schneider, he goes in there, he's
Dan
like
Schneider.
he's like he's a part of the intelligence division in the NSA, and for some reason we don't really know exactly why, other than Abel just saying that they're rivals. I don't really know what that means exactly. I don't know if he wants to find Skinner first or what it is, but he has it out for Abel and Lazarus. So he wanted to get someone who was within Lazarus to betray them and basically get them disbanded. That was his entire goal with that NSA meeting, was to get Lazarus disbanded. However, what ends up happening, because although Leland he's giving them what he wants, but he's not going for the kill necessarily to really bury them and, get them disbanded. What ends up happening is that we get another video announcement from our boy Dr. Skinner, and he basically just goes, "Wow, you guys really fucking suck. You got 10 days left, and I'm gonna die in those 10 days."
I love how he said, "It's been 20 days and nobody's come to call me or contact me." It's like, you got my number. What the fuck are y'all doing? Making it seem like he's been sitting there patiently waiting for a call. It's like, Skinner, come on. You know everybody's looking for you, but just the way he worded it.
Yeah, it was like he acted as if he was like super accessible. Like, it's like your grandma saying like, you don't call me, you'll ever come over. It's like, no, you're literally evading everybody and making sure we can't contact you in any way. You have like hackers putting your face on all these secure surveillance video. Like, bro, we can't find you. What are you talking about?
I know. But that was definitely a big twist too, because it kind of confirms not only is he still sticking to his guns and he's like, "Yep, I'm, in 10 days now, y'all are going to die, but I'm going to be the first one to die."
Mm-hmm.
And any chance of a vaccine after that is gone. And it just kind of like gives you a little sense of urgency, where it's like, oh shit, we've been playing around, dancing at clubs and, going to cults and shit. Maybe we should really get this shit in gear and try to find Skinner.
Yeah, and it really rallies the people at the NSA meeting, because this whole time they're just spending what time they could be looking for Skinner, grilling Lazarus and questioning their methods, which honestly, I mean, considering everything that they listed off, and the fact that one of the things that they ended up doing was flirting with making relations in Russia bad, which could end up being, World War III. It makes sense that they would be like, all right, are you guys actually looking for Skinner, or are you just fucking things up using our money? Mm-hmm. But considering the severity of not finding Skinner, it's one of those things to where you kind of just have to lead them to their own devices and trust that they are doing their intended job. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's life is at risk. So, from Lazarus to the NSA guys to everybody. So it's on everybody now to kind of let go of a lot of things that are unnecessary. And I feel like with the video announcement, that is basically the thesis of the entire show, or basically what Skinner was doing this for in the first place. He's trying to give everybody a sense of urgency, so there is togetherness, so that they aren't bickering about stuff that in the long run doesn't really matter. You start to see how minuscule things really are when your life is on the line. And I think that's the big point that he's making to everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. And Abel also made a really good speech too, because he kind of like confirmed. He said, yeah, well, Skinner kind of like said everything I wanted to say, to be honest. Um, we are focusing on the wrong thing. I honestly feel like we need to all come together and find this guy because we're all fucking dead in 10 days if we don't. So, let's get our heads out of our asses. Let's not worry about minuscule little things and let's find this man. And the head of the NSA was just like, okay, fine. You got 10 days. But yeah, after that 10 days, if you don't find him, you're in trouble. And it's like, yeah,
What are you gonna
we're
do?
all gonna
Kill
be in
me?
trouble. Right? Well, I guess I should really get my shit in gear after these, because at day 11, ooh, I'm gonna be fired. I'm not going home with my pension.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's kind of where that led to, and then we got this very different side story where we're introduced to, what is it? Oh, Schneider. He wants to send a ghost to take out Lazarus.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't know what his motivations are. Again, they briefly talk about him and say he's a rival to Abel and whatnot. I don't know if he wants the glory of finding Skinner himself and he feels threatened by Lazarus, whatever it may be. I mean, we got who his actual target was at the end, so for all I know, it could be some personal vendetta. We don't exactly know, but what we do know is that he hires Steak Man and and they tried to do this thing to where he was acting as the middleman in between the actual assassin, because his name is HQ. Aka Steak Man, is he's talking as if, oh, my client, or he's saying we. He's using terms like we, basically giving some distance between him and the assassin. But come to find out, he was the actual assassin, which I thought that as soon as I saw him, because I went, why would we have that beginning scene if he wasn't the actual assassin? Like, why would we have that crazy music video scene if he was just the guy to ask the other assassin, hey, you good with 4 million? Is that good enough for you? So yeah,
that should be good enough.
So yeah, it's like he does a thing where he looks unassuming because he has his glasses, and I guess he has his hair a certain way. But once he takes off those glasses and once he changes up the hair, as we saw,
He fucks people up.
yeah. Which I know the fact that Lazarus is a group shows that the morality of the government. Not that I'm ever saying that the government's morality is ever high, but the fact that this guy sends his troops to test if he is a competent assassin is insane to me, because they just sent all of those people to their deaths.
Die. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, wouldn't you, I don't know, want to see how good he is with dummies or robots, or I don't know, something that kind of, it's like, see how fast he is with his hands, but no, let's take these real people with families and and everybody, and don't even tell them shit. We have to eliminate this target. Okay. And then they all fucking die. It's just, I understand the point. The whole point of it was to show, oh my god, this guy is a fucking stone cold killer and he's good at his job. But I feel like there could have been different ways to have done it. I agree with you. But if we did it a different way, we wouldn't have had that cool choreographic action scene that I'm sure Chad Statensky, or whatever his name is, choreographed and got paid for. So we just didn't. That was all that scene was to A, show how strong he is, and B, show the cool choreography. That was all.
Yeah, so it seems like, since we're talking about Shinichiro Watanabe, it seems like if Axel is our Spike, we now have our Vicious into this whole thing
yeah.
because now we have somebody because we know how great of a fighter and how acrobatic and the parkour stuff that Axel is able to do. And so far, we really haven't seen anybody be able to hang with him on a one-on-one level. Maybe the Russian guy, he was actually doing pretty good against Axel, just using the strength. But this guy seems to be an Axel variant where it's like, yeah, all that stuff that you saw Axel do, I can do that, but I murder people when I do it. I don't just, incapacitate them, just give them a ouchie. I actually just murder them.
Decrepit Storm said, isn't it a coincidence that EA and Axel both escaped from prison in Arizona?
Oh, you guys are probably cellmates.
I probably saw him for the brief moment that I did. That's funny. That's a great callback there, Decrepit. But yeah, I don't know if it also mentioned this either, but maybe it's wishful thinking. But it almost made it sound like Axel was originally in a prison from Arizona. So that means, is he from Arizona? That's interesting.
Yeah, they talked about all these different prisons that he escaped. So I'm wondering why exactly Schneider wants him taken out. Does Axel know something that could compromise him, or what exactly is it about Axel? We don't know.
I mean, it could be a number of things. I don't know. But I will admit, this was definitely a lot better than we've had episodes in the past couple of weeks. And I know this is a Killer Pass episode, but it's definitely got me back into it. It's gotten me more invested and I still am of the mindset where I believe we're going to get a very rushed ending and it's not going to feel complete. I still think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be a good ending. But my interest is there. It's been piqued now because of this episode.
I feel like the only way we don't go to a horrible place with this show is if we get a season 2, which, I mean,
it's possible, but like with 10 days left.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. And with there's 13 episodes in Lazarus, so but the problem is next episode is going to be focused on this guy. So it's like, all right, so that being episode 10, then we got 3 episodes left to wrap up the story, and I don't know how well that's going to be. But us killing our past in the show, I think should do less about not trajectory, but where we think it's going to go, and more so where it's at now. I think we are in an intriguing place. I'm still my curiosity is piqued. I definitely want to see Axel versus HQ, even though I think HQ would destroy this. They got to have a plan.
I think this is how it's going to be, because he just easily, HQ easily destroyed all those guys like nothing. But it's going to be a fairly even fight between him and Axel for some reason. But it's going to be a pretty decent fight. I don't know if HQ wins it, but I think maybe Axel pulls it out of his ass and like defeats him somehow. But it's going to be a very interesting fight. I hope they go all out with it. I want to see a very good choreographed fight with these two and see what they can do when they really focus on that.
Yeah. Because we really haven't had a signature fight necessarily in the show. And usually with Shinichiro Watanabe series, with the action series, of course, Carolyn Tuesday didn't have this.
No.
But I mean, if you think about it, if you just say competition, it technically did, but not a fight. But yeah, usually there's always an iconic fight. Like when I think about Samurai Champloo, I think about Mugen versus Jin. I think about Jin versus the samurai of that smells of flowers. I think about Mugen versus those two guys. So I think this is where we get that iconic fight that we are accustomed to with Shinichiro Watanabe's series. Because, like I said, these guys seem to have not the same skill set, but the same feel to them. Like being the acrobats, being the high flyers. Like this dude is moving all over the place. He's one of those guys that can turn anything that he touches into a weapon. And while I'm of the opinion that HQ is probably going to beat him, it's going to be a good fight. I think that, especially, you know, if Lazarus, you know, comes to join the party. But honestly, nobody else can really do anything against this guy.
I definitely don't think one-on-one Axel wins. I think it comes down to everybody in Lazarus taking this guy down. I think it's going to be one of those things. Like, hell, Axel will do a good amount of damage to this guy, but I think ultimately HQ is going to like get him pinned and he's going to go, any last words? And Axel's going to be like, you're a bitch. And then, like, I don't know, Doug plugs him with a shotgun from behind and then he's dead.
Elena stabs him with the USB.
Ooh, wouldn't that be something? Just out of nowhere, just hacking, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think we're both of the same opinion that this is a pass, which means at this point, with it being 13 episodes, I mean, I guess technically we could do a killer pass at episode 12.
Unless 12 is dog ass. I mean, I don't think it will, but I'm glad we finally got one of these episodes where we have some sense of urgency and some interest, and like there's things going on and you're just like wanting to know what happens next, because I feel like it's been a while since we've had that.
Yeah. Decrepit Storm says that definitely felt like a John Wick fight. He wants to recruit Axel for the lone jumping in Olympus. They definitely would take gold. Not many anime originals get a season 2. That is very true. I think the show is definitely flawed, but I'm still interested to see where it goes. Yeah, and I think we're in the same headspace.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave you guys on the pass screen now.
You pass this time.
All right. That is it for Lazarus. So time to move on to our next show, which is Rock is a Lady's Modesty, episode 10.
A lot of this in this episode.
Yeah. So we got the aftermath of the Battle of the Bands, and the audience
Nobody clapped.
They were just scared. They're just scared.
They were just scared. They're like, should we clap? No, if you clap, they'll go start playing again. Just don't do anything.
They're gonna think it's we're calling for an encore.
When all we want is for them to get off the stage. They didn't boo. They didn't clap. They just stood there going, I think I want my mommy. Just I need to pray.
I think them being scared though, it makes sense. They made it a point that this audience is a casual audience in the sense that they're looking for vocals. They're not equipped to properly judge an instrumental band, especially a band that was, rocking out as hardcore as they were, where, Lalisa hardcore. Where Lalisa and Otaha were losing their mind, and where you had Tina, who wasn't playing as well in the first half, and Shiro was pretty contained. I would say she was the only one that gave that like a sense of normalcy to her performance, but it all came together for the audience just to be stunned. And it was definitely stunned in a good way where it left the impact on everybody. But I think it was one of those things to where they didn't know themselves how they felt.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, and they were all up on stage, sweating, dripping sweat.
Yeah.
And they're just like, they didn't even clap for us, those assholes. Well, I'm upset that we lost, but well, I mean, it seemed like they were upset at first, but later on we find out that good old Otaha and Lalisa, they didn't give two shits. They were just more concerned about making fun of each other.
Yeah.
And talking shit about each other. And they even brought old Shiro into it. You're not off the hook either.
I like that. I really like when series have a character who's supposed to be like the really cool stoic one, and they kind of bring them into the hurricane of madness with all these different eccentric personalities like Ota and Lilisa, because now we get to see her that cool facade break. It happened a couple different times within this episode, but just with that, it's like they were enticing her to, join the madness and go crazy with them, which she didn't take the bait in being exactly like them. Like, there wasn't no middle finger, there wasn't no yelling, but she did respond, so I think they did succeed in getting her a little riled up, because usually she's never really on a back foot. She's always, always on a pedestal, being very condescending. But this time she was getting attacked and really didn't know how to handle it initially.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad they didn't go after Tina, even though they could have easily tore her a new one. You just completely suck so much ass. But with her, she was just like, please don't say anything to me. Please don't say anything to me.
No, she would have cried and ran out of there.
At least they were nice enough not to go ham on Tina, because she would have quit right then and there had they done that. So they got some sense of morality whenever they cuss each other out.
My boy Choco in the chat, what's good, Choco? He said, whip your wiener out is insane, man. Listen, I've been...
That's what they said.
Yes. Otaha was yelling as Shiron said, you need to whip out your wiener. I've been saying this since it started out. It was with Otaha exclusively, but now it's extended to Lisa, and it even extended to Shiro in a previous episode. I don't know if you caught when she said this. There is so much sexual innuendos in the way they talk about performing. Like, and I'm not just talking about like the imagery that they show with the BDSM stuff. For example, Otaha always says, I want us to collaborate with each other, and she'll talk about climaxing, and it's just the way she talks about it. It's like, oh, are you trying to play music, or are you trying to fuck?
Are you coming on to me?
Yeah.
I didn't hear a no.
And then Shiro said something when we first saw her. She said something to Otaho to where she said, she was like, I finally developed the ultimate technique. I can finally satisfy you. And I was like, what?
Say what now?
I'm gonna say it every single time. This show is so it is so homoerotic. It's actually is actually homophobic.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of that in this particular episode alone. But before I get there, the Carpet Storm says they didn't use their voices, and the audience didn't either. That's kind of a good point. Whenever you look at it that way. Is that how you talk to each other when the stream ends? Sasuke,
Before the stream, actually.
Yeah. That's how we get all of our frustrations out. All right, Sauce, you better not fumble it this time. I swear to God, if you do, and then you go, EA, if you bring up lollies one more time, and then when Ben or C Tactics is here, Ben, just don't drop any lingo, because if you drop any vernacular or any lingo, I swear to God, we're leaving.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to see KOA post podcast.
It's very scary. But yeah, Daniel Mencha, whip your wiener out, is insane. I wonder if it's a reference to, how when it comes to rocking out, there's that old saying, rock out with your cock out. I don't know if maybe that's what they're kind of trying to say with
Well,
that.
I think it's more so like it's just it. I guess it kind of works in a literal sense of not that Shiro has a cock to whip out, but it works in the figurative, semi-literal sense in that it's like get naked with us, like bare yourself. Where it's like,
Huh?
it's like they want her to go crazy, like how they've been going crazy. So they want her to lose herself in the music, just like they've lost herself in the music. So, when I say go bare, it's more so the idea of stripping yourself of the armor that you usually have, like the guard that you typically have. So I think that's what she meant by whip out your wiener. It's like just get on our level, like stop worrying about the
Take out your vagina.
yeah. Let the clip breathe.
Whip them titties out. It's just any other words, but they just went on full on wiener, and he was just like, "How dare you?" Yeah.
Yeah. But then we got the whole conclusion of the bitter. I'm just calling him Bitter G. That whole wager that they had with Shiro, and it happened.
Kind of ended anticlimactically.
Yeah.
To be honest.
We figured that Shiro wasn't going to join them. We thought they were going to lose, but we also believed that Shiro wasn't going to join them. I don't think it happened the way we imagined it was going to happen, but
Yeah, because I was gonna think it was gonna be some technicality, like the fourth and final band was gonna be the best, and technically they won, but they didn't lose either. So I don't know. I was thinking more along those lines, but instead it was just, well, all right.
Yeah.
They just kind of pulled her away and took them back to the green room, and she's like, "But I wanted her."
yeah,
You don't get her.
yeah, they Shiro is hell bent on playing the bass. So because of that, they were like, yeah, we want Shiro the guitarist, not the bassist. Fuck off. And
Which doesn't make sense, because they could totally still get her. She could be a guitarist.
well, that's the thing. That was just like the surface level thing that's just the excuse that they made for them, so they can kind of save face. Because in actuality, when they get together alone, they talk about how Shiro, she was kind of how she was when they first joined together. Because when Bitter G was first a band, they were just like our current band, where they didn't care about the pop sound trying to appeal to the fans. They cared about the hardcore rock, where it was like, we're going to play our brand of music and not care what other people think. So I think they saw Shiro, coming into her own and showing signs of how she used to be, or how they used to be, I should say. And they didn't want to break that up. I think that's what it was more so about. Because Shiro was, smiling during her performance, which I'm pretty sure they've never saw.
My God, she could smile. She always has a frown. I don't even know. It's like, yep, that's a smile, all right. And she's just, yeah.
I did not know you could emote.
I thought they only had one sort of emotion, which was pissed off 24/7.
She bought the battle pass.
She bought the battle pass, and she even emoted towards the end when she was talking to Otaha about joining the band. And she full on said, I want you to berate me.
No, not berate. Hardcore berate.
Oh, excuse me. I want you to hardcore berate me. I want you. She turned into darkness. She turned into a complete masochist at the end. And even Otaha had that expression on her face, was like, huh?
You're gross.
What? You're disgusting. What? You want me to berate you? And then she's just like, no, I don't want to. But then she did that little face at the end, that shining, and I'm like, oh yeah, she's totally gay for Otaha.
What? That's the thing. Seeing that, you would think, all right, that's very jarring for the character that she's shown herself to be. But it's something that we already talked about on the podcast many episodes ago. We're like, she is a complete simp for Otaha. Anything that Otaha says, she allows. She still keeps up the the stern face and whatnot. So we haven't seen Shiro in this manner with these expressions and being as open as she is. But we already said that, yeah, she is infatuated with Otaha. Like, she literally lives her life based on her approval.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was even more so. I think Shiro is a permanent band member. Even if she gets fed up and annoyed with Lolisa, Otaha's gonna be, where are you going? Nowhere. I want to be with you as long as you berate me. Hardcore berate me. Storm said you're pathetic if schlecking to that snooze fest was enough to make you come.
Yeah, the stuff that these girls say to each other after the performances, I just want to know what media they've been watching.
Where's your mother?
Yeah, your mom did not raise you like that.
Oh, for sure. No, that they got that from whoever. But yeah, that was kind of like the aftermath of what happened after the rock concert. We then go into basically the next day, where Lolisa gets confronted by her sister and is like, so I saw you coming home late last night. What'd you do?
Yeah. And then Lisa just defaults back into just lying and acting fake again, which honestly, that kind of disappointed me. I wanted her to just be upfront about it.
I kind of understand why she was lying, though. It's because of what her sister said. She's like, I want you to tell me when you're performing so I could watch you perform. And I think she didn't want to hurt her feelings in a way. So that's why she was like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Even though if she would have been upfront and honest and said, oh, well, me and all these other people went and performed, she probably would have been upset. Because she's like, oh, man.
I mean, she knew she knew. It was one of those things where it's like, I'm going to just stick to my guns and hope that you just drop the discussion. But yeah, I did want her to just be open with her, just because I want that relationship to progress in a way that's, healthy. Because I still don't think they're exactly there. It's definitely way better than it was before. But yeah, Alice ends up sneaking around. I know this happens towards the end of the episode, but continue with that plot point. She sneaks around and sees that there's 2 added band members, which, comes to her surprise. So I don't know if we're going to get anything more with that, but that's kind of where that plot point ends.
I love in anime how they hide themselves with 2 bushes sticking out of their head, and they just do that, and then nobody fucking notices, and it's just like, I could see you.
You don't know. You don't see the bushes. You don't see the branches. It's a tree.
What? I would say, yeah, that's totally a tree. What are you talking about? That person's got a face in between those. You're tripping. I don't see what you're seeing.
No. Yeah. But yeah. So like after the concert, everybody's thinking about it.
They're like high on adrenaline. They're just like,
no,
ooh, that was fun.
What I was gonna say was if we're going with the whole sexual innuendo things,
Oh, here we
it's
go.
like the afterglow. Like it was kind of like that too. It's like they're just sitting there. Basically, Lalisa and Otaha are pillow talking. Like you know the whole thing is like, all right, after you do the deed, it's like she's drawing like stuff, on your chest, like because she's playing the air guitar and Otaha's like tapping her feet doing the drum patterns, so like it's like post nut clarity going on with everybody in the show.
Yeah, and then they're like, we should take the night off, but because they enjoyed it so much, they can't help themselves, so they go in again and they start playing again, which could be associated with, all right, let's take a break from all this sex. And then they get in the mood and they're like, all right, let's go again.
Yep.
That's what it turns into.
Yeah, and then like another thing that ends up happening, Shiro is the president of the tea ceremony club in her school, because those two schools, because they're like sister neighboring schools.
Looks so different with a wig.
Yeah, and she's also being a fake rich, or not fake rich girl, but fake
Like proper.
Yeah, proper prim girl, because we know how her real personality is. Which it feels like everybody has like their fake personality. I feel like Tina's the closest to her fake personality. Like Lisa's pretty far from who she portrays herself to be. Otaha actually
care who she is.
Yeah, Otaha actually is still the same person she is. She's only crazy when it comes to rocking out, because she's not really fake. Like even outside of from what we know, even outside of like school stuff, she's still prim, proper, pleasant. She does, like when she did the curtsy thing when they were greeting the people when they were first joining the Battle of the Bands thing. So actually her personality is not that far from how she portrays herself to be.
Yeah, she basically just switches it on whenever she goes to performing and whatnot. And some people do that. They can just be themselves, and then when they start doing something they love or enjoy, they're just like, okay, game face. Gonna get ready to rock out in my freaking attire because I said I was gonna do it. Damn it. Yeah, because I think it was the first episode. Otaha acted all prim and proper, but I think she like was missing a pick or whatever, and she got on all fours, and people were like staring at her like, "What's she doing on all fours? Oh my god, her butt's in the air!" Just trying to look for that pick, but she didn't care.
Yeah.
She was just like, let them talk. Because, yeah, they talk about how she's like, oh, she's going to be the... What are these girls trying to be again? Like
the noble maiden.
Lady... Yeah. She couldn't give two shits less about being a noble maiden. As long as she plays her drums, she don't care.
Yeah. Which we haven't really gone back to that whole thing, like where Lalisa is progressing in that point. But the other interesting thing that happens was just the Shiro and Otaha dynamic that we got, because we talked about how Shiro's admitted to Otaha that she wanted to be hardcore berated by her. And of course, that was supposed to be a comedic scene and portrays her as a masochist, but it's a little deeper than that, because from what we gather from her, the little bit that we've seen of her backstory, is less of her just being a masochist, and it's more of her craving authenticity and honesty from someone, which she wasn't getting before. Everybody was praising her and glazing her and putting her on the pedestal. And I think with her, she was happy that she could find someone that was just matched her eye level, who didn't treat her like she was a god or anything like that. Someone who could just be a peer, a friend. That's why she loves and respects Otaha so much.
Yeah. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. But they'll definitely turn it into a quote unquote love thing, and please abuse me, master.
Yeah, they're
Type
definitely
of
going to lean
thing.
into that.
Yeah, the darkness. You abused me. I love it. Was that just about it? Because I feel like it was, you had the concert,
Mhm.
everybody enjoyed their sex. Then you had the post night clarity, everybody was still thinking about it and wanting to perform. And they're like, nah, we're not going to do it. But then it ends with Lisa going, do I hear fucking music in here? I almost thought for sure we were going to get like a you're cheating on me type of thing, but it didn't turn into that, thank God. It turned into a okay. Because Otaha was like, I told you she'd come. And then she just started playing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Thought this was a good episode. I don't know where they go from this point on. I feel like given that we have the band together, they still got to come up with an official name. So maybe they work out the inner the intrics. I can't say this word. Maybe
Intricacies?
yes, they work out all of that within the band as far as because it kind of just came together because it had to because of the battle of the bands. But now they got time to breathe and time to really check where they want to be and how they're going to get there. Because Lisa has a grand goal, of course. So now everybody can kind of just relax and settle. But usually when we have these moments in anime, that is when we transition to like a even crazier plot point. I get the feeling that we're going to start getting into Lisa's mom maybe figuring something out about her or something like that.
That's psycho.
Yeah.
Tearing up her fucking guitars going, you don't need this anymore, right? No, not anymore, I guess.
She's so crazy. I feel like if you do something like where she finds out about Lalisa, it has to be like towards the end of the series because she would just crash out completely.
Yeah. Trayvon says Alice was being a peeping Tom at the end. She was curious about what her sister was doing, and now she's like, they've multiplied. And now she's even more so. She's like, I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with 4 girls. Oh.
Oh my God. Now we got orgies and we got peeping. We got someone in the cuck window.
Nothing but just damn innuendos left and right. Now I feel like I should go back and just watch the series and go, how did I not see this before? I was blinded by everything.
But I think that is it for the discussion on Rock is the Latest Modesty. Good episode, but I think it's time to talk about an episode that was even better, in my humble opinion, which was none other than Apocalypse Hotel episode 9. This is a kill or pass week for the show. I don't think we got to worry about the show being killed.
What a freaking episode. I did not know where this whole episode was going. We went from such an emotional roller coaster to probably one of the funniest shit at the very beginning, but then to one of the saddest and most humbling moments at the very end, all in one episode. And it's just weird how we always bring this up. They always seem to make it work with the sad and the funny and the just dark comedy, but also just everything just is so meaningful behind it. And I think let's start out with the good, and that all of it was good, but what I mean is let's start off with the funny. Yachiho completely first Ponko introduces Yachio to who we know as Ponstein, and she basically says, I'm marrying this guy. he asked me to marry him. We're gonna get married. And she just decks him right in the stomach, sends him flying, and I think I watched that scene like 3 or 4 times because it just made me laugh.
It's the
I
fact
just
that
kept rewinding it.
it's the fact that she did it almost as like not almost. It was a reflex. It wasn't even like a real thought behind it. In fact, after she does it, she goes. Then she processes her emotion. She goes, now that I think about it, the reason I did that is because I was like, wait a minute.
Right. It's like, I don't want you to take her away from my work. Oh, I'm still going to be working.
Oh,
My bad.
you have my blessings. Love you too. You're cute.
And then within the same couple minutes, they go to the parents' house and Yachiho punches the dad. Like literally within like 2 minutes. That poor father, the poor men in this series that get their asses handed to them by Yachiyo.
He always has to get punched somehow. He is always him.
He's minding his own business, not doing anything, and he gets punched. And Ponstein's just like, yeah, I want to ask for her hand in marriage. Punch.
Also, he has like the same bodily fluids as Aqua because he was throwing up rainbows.
Oh yeah, she was covered in that. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, Aqua pukes rainbows, and I don't know what she's made of. Maybe she's made of rainbows. Goddesses are made of rainbows, but I guess, I guess what are they called? The not the punk. They're not punkos. What are the species called?
The
Tanakis. Thank you. They're filled with rainbow sherbet ice cream. I'm just convinced at this point. Okay. So yeah, so that kind of happens. We see the grandma, and she's kind of not doing too good, but then she wants to stay at the hotel, kind of like get ready for the wedding and everything. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of had a feeling something was gonna happen.
Oh
When
yeah,
all this stuff was happening, I'm like, she's probably gonna fucking die, and something's gonna come of it, and they were just really heavily focusing on it. That's why I was like, something's definitely gonna happen. Sure enough, the very next day, she checks out of the hotel. R.I.P. Grandma.
yeah.
Passes away before the damn wedding.
And this is a thing, and I'll always stand by this. Just because something is predictable or very telegraphed doesn't mean it's going to be a bad thing. We're going to talk more about like the ramifications of her death and everything. But it was something that we brought up last episode because we were talking about how she was bedridden, and given the time skips that we got in this show, it was reasonable. I'm pretty sure we brought up the fact that she could die or something like that because of all the time that has elapsed. It just makes sense. I mean, she was old when we first saw her. And we don't know the Tanuki's lifespan and at all, but that was a possibility. And even though we thought that this could happen, it still was just great because of the execution, and it just the way they did it. I don't even think we could have predicted how this whole thing would have played out. Because even with, because she's setting up the camera and everything. So I'm like, okay, she's going to leave her final message at the wedding and everything. It did end up going that way, but it went so much better than I could ever imagine. Like the ceremony that we had a wedding funeral ceremony,
which I would have never seen coming in a million years. If you would have told me what was going to happen this episode with that, I was going to say the grandma was going to die, sure, because it was kind of telegraphed, but a funeral, wedding, combo, whatever, I was literally just like, okay, where are we going with this? And they definitely took some things to a certain length. Like, probably one of the darkest things, and I even said this when I was watching it, where I was like, "That's fucked up," where they were doing magic tricks with the grandma's dead body. I'm like, "That's legitimately fucked up," because you can literally cut her in half. What's she gonna do? Protest? Are you going to prove that? Yeah, no. Magic, bitch.
That was such a hilarious.
Yeah.
This show is amazing.
Yeah, it really. I think this episode, and I said it kind of like to myself after I got done watching it, was I think this is the show that episode, that solidified the series for me.
Yeah.
'Cause this is one that we'll probably remember out of them all, unless they decide to outdo themselves again with all the other remaining episodes that they have. But just something really unique and special about this one, where it's basically a celebration of a new beginning, but also sadness and remembering those that passed on, all in one episode. But it's really well done.
Yeah, I think what impresses me about this show is how much it does with the little time it has. Like it is very concise. It feels like we truly have gone on a long journey with all of these characters, and the time skips have been abrupt and everything, but it feels like I have seen Ponko grow. And I think you know, as an audience, you just go, you feel like you're in the, you know, at the wedding ceremony in attendance, you know, congratulating her on her marriage. And it just, I don't know, the show just gives you a sense of true family when it comes to this hotel. Like from Yachio and Ponko's relationship to even like some of the the flycatcher robot. This really feels like a big family that has only grown bigger, and their bond has grown tighter. So when we get an episode like this where we're celebrating a new beginning for Ponko, but also you know, mourning, but celebrating the life also of grandma, it just feels natural. It feels real. I think, yeah, I just think this show is done incredibly well, and its execution for every plot point it sought to give us. Like I really need to. I have already looked at the writers of the show, but I need to know specifically who thought of all of this stuff. You know, because you know, I don't know if it is coming from the director or whatever it may be, but this show is really, really great. Like, I think a lot of people are missing out not watching this show.
I will definitely go out of my way and say that this is definitely one of the more underrated shows to come out this season, if not this year. Because, you know, we have a bunch of shows, and I'm sure people have been talking about it, blah, blah, blah. I don't know anyone except for you and me that are talking about Apocalypse Hotel, because everybody else is talking about whatever else is out there, whatever, you know, boob jiggle physics or shonen anime or whatever's that's happening. But this one, and it's very interesting too, because I don't know if it's because it's a original or we don't have any time constraints, but I agree with you when I feel like everything just feels such evenly paced, and it's only been 9 episodes, while we have something like Lazarus made by, you know, Shinichiro Watanabe, where there's a time constraint because, you know, there's like a sense of urgency, you know, when it comes to like, oh, there's only a certain amount of time. And I don't know if that's like something that's holding that back, but then you have a show like this where it actually works, and there's like huge jumps in times, like hundreds of years are happening, and it works.
It doesn't
like,
skip a beat. That's very impressive.
Right. It works for what it is, and it's Very well done. I love that it's the point of view through the robots because it kind of like gives them a sense of like this is all they know and this is what they focus on. But you know, we know that humanity's gone. But if we would have saw it through their eyes, it would have been a completely different story versus just this group of robots that were only built to manage this one hotel. So it's just very well done, I think, overall.
Yeah. And just talk about like something the growth of the characters. Like I was talking about how we saw Ponko grow, but like truly we saw her be this, you know, I won't say she was bratty. She was just a kid, you know, being a rambunctious kid to now her being, you know, a leader of this hotel, somebody who was the acting manager for as long as she was and doing a competent job, being the person who was actually getting long-standing guests at this hotel, and you know, to now, you know, her being married and that's feeling natural. You know, she doesn't feel like a kid. She just has that aura, that poise of like a young lady. And you know, with Yachio, she has also grown a lot. She's not as robotic as she used to be. She's not as by the books as she is. We're seeing her develop we're seeing her develop emotions and you know, she's showing her deviant side. Her, you know, she had a rebellious stage and everything, and a lot of those things are being internalized to where whereas when she first got in, you know, when she first went into space and she said how much she loved Ponko, you know, they embraced each other before she went off. Even though I felt it in that scene, I feel like now she feels way more human. Like she could really display those emotions of love. And I think that's why we saw her punch Ponstein in the beginning of the episode, because it's like she's the big sister for Ponko. It's like, you know, get off my sister. I don't know you.
Yeah. I almost feel like it's that, but also the fact that she's part tank. And maybe that is in her violent nature to want to punch. But she punched the dad before she even became half tank. Which, by the way, I love how they keep going with that. But then they kind of like took it away by going, oh, by the way, you're going to have me fixed by the time of the wedding, right? And now she's like back to normal. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because I honestly thought they were going to keep her half tank the rest of the series. I was like, okay, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Also, hello.
Choco.
Is that Choco?
Mm-hmm.
I got to tap in postseason. Yep. This is a really good series. I think, I definitely think that people are missing out for sure.
But with Grandma too, because she was a character out of the family I felt kind of just blended in, where I didn't really have an opinion on her necessarily. She was definitely not as annoying as the mom and the dad could be. But man, they made you feel for this character despite her not being that active in previous episodes. Like they show how fun loving she was, how she used to protect Ponko from, you know, asshole Tanokis back on their home planet, and you could just feel the parental love between those two and how much she meant to her. You know, both ways, how much Grandma meant to Ponko and how much Ponko meant to Grandma. And she shows her appreciation for Yachio managing this hotel, and it shows you the great consequence of their resilience in maintaining this hotel, because although they did it for humanity's sake, what seemed to be like a hopeless thing ended up salvaging the lives of these Tanuki. Because had they not managed this hotel, had they gave up after how many ever years it was when the Tanukis first got there, they would have never had a place to call home. Like that, you know, and she shows her appreciation for her in that way because you know, this was truly a place that they could settle. And as Ponko once said, like this is stepmother Earth for them. You know, this is now their planet.
Yeah. I usually have an issue whenever they show flashbacks of characters that are literally dying that same episode. I always find it such a cop out just to kind of like trick you into feeling bad for the character. But the way they did it in this episode with the grandma, I thought was very tasteful. I thought it was definitely heartwarming. You kind of just showed that relationship between those two, as you were saying, you know, the bully Tanakis, and how whenever she says, whenever you feeling sad, sing a little song, and then they sing their traditional song, whatever
Oh
it
my
was from their
God.
planet, which they harken back to at the very end, which that was that was so tender and sweet. And then she just, as she's seeing her play it through the pre-recorded video, you know, Ponko singing it as well with tears in her eyes. It's just like, oh, that was so well done.
Yeah.
So very well done.
That when they were singing the home planet's song, that's the scene that really got me. 'Cause they were prepping you for that moment with them playing a recording. They played it a couple different times, different points of the ceremony, but one of the last things that we see is Grandma address a couple people. When she addresses Ponko, she says that she wants her to live a happier and fuller life than her, you know, and because the whole ceremony, the reason why they put it together, two things that you would never put together normally, but it's to celebrate her, like I said, celebrate Grandma's life while you're ushering in a new life, a new phase of Ponko's life. And it's basically to wash away the sadness that would normally be associated with the funeral, you know. It's to keep spirits high even amongst the sadness, because what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to remember that person in high regard. And it's sad because that person's no longer there, so there's a sense of vacancy when it comes to those happy memories. But I think the important thing is not to think about the vacancy necessarily, just that you were able to experience those happy moments with that person. And I think that ceremony was able to, you know, of course there was tears, but it was able to properly get everybody in the right headspace and not think necessarily about Grandma's death and the finality of it, but appreciate all the memories she gave them and now be happy where Ponko currently is.
Yeah, they knocked it out of the park with this episode. The writing, the pacing, the editing, the storytelling, everything was on point. And I know this is a Killer Pass episode. Even if it wasn't, I don't think I would be able to kill this series. This is just such a good episode to, like, I think when it's all said and done, and I could be wrong, who knows? Maybe they'll make some fantastic episodes when everything's said and done. But I almost feel like this is gonna be their magnus opus, or whatever you want to call it. Like this one to hang their hat on and call it, we went all out for that episode and this was our best. So, way to go.
Even if it's not, I mean, this show is just, because I thought the episode before this was incredible, and I thought the episode before that was incredible. They've had a string of.
I don't think we've had a bad episode.
No, we haven't.
There's maybe been one where it wasn't as entertaining, and I say that with quotes because all of them are entertaining. But if I was to think of one, maybe the slime ones when they made whiskey and it was interesting all on its own, but maybe that one would be considered not the best one, but it's still a good episode.
Yeah. Yeah, this show has been it has been super consistent. And it's been really the highlight for me. Not only this season. I know we're only getting to halfway into the year, but honestly, it would be my anime of the year currently.
It's pretty damn good.
I can't think of anything that was better.
This was all on just a whim.
Yep.
Too. Yeah, let's just watch a few episodes. If it sucks, we can just drop it. It looks neat. I don't know what the fuck's happening, but let's watch it.
Ends up being one of the best things we watched on the podcast.
I feel like that's how we gotta pick shows in the future. Just watch a trailer of something. Do you know what's happening? No. Fucking pick it and let's watch it.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much all to talk about with that episode. Incredible episode. Definitely looking forward to how this series ends. We don't know. We have no idea. We don't know where they go from here. That's the greatest part about this. It being an anime only and how unpredictable it is. We could literally go 50 years in the future and now Yachiho has kids and stuff, but we have no fucking clue where the show is going to go. It has been one of the greatest free rides I've ever been on because I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm happy I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, same. All I know is shampoo hat. I'll never go anywhere without one ever again.
He's had that shampoo hat on for years.
Yeah, he has. That has to be so dirty.
Oh, but all right. Moving on to the next show. We are covering Ranger Reject Season 2, Episode 8. Yay.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Although they're still skipping stuff. I like this episode.
It was definitely a rebound from the previous episode where everything was just all over the place. It's not to say I didn't have my problems with it, but I definitely think this one was better than last week. And I guess let's just start from the beginning. I love how D was basically just loving the fact that the leader, who's apparently Angel's dad, was saying, you know, monsters need this, monsters are this, and D's just like, yeah, I love it. But then he says something that kind of struck a nerve with him, where he was like, these poor fighters, they can't protect themselves. They're a bunch of pathetic losers. And he's like, you had everything right up until that point.
Yeah.
We're not pathetic. I mean, what? they're not pathetic. Yeah, but that was kind of an interesting little thing. I mean, I knew they were kind of more on the monster side, but it almost feels like, I don't know, what's a way to describe it? I almost want to say like PETA in a way, where they're trying to protect animals and they have their rights and whatnot, but the same with monsters, I guess.
Well, I would say it's like okay. You know how like it's like condescending racism in a way.
Oh.
It's like racism, not in a sense of being demonstrative towards someone, but being racist in feeling that you have a superiority over someone, where it's like, oh, these little guys, we gotta help them out because they need it. I mean, they can't function otherwise.
Right.
It's showing their superiority. Even though it's channeled in a way that's not necessarily malicious, it is condescending and demeaning.
Yeah. No, it's a very good way of putting it. Yeah. Because D was loving all that up until it got to the part where it's like, these poor pathetic creatures can't defend themselves. Like, we're not poor and pathetic.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And then we get like these fighting scenes with all these other members that have eyes on their body. First of all, who go put an eye on the back of their neck? That seems very counterintuitive.
No,
Like the
you
ones
can't-
on
you
the
can't-
forehead, sure.
You can't stab them in the back no more now.
I guess that's true. If someone tries to sneak up on you, you got something on the back of your neck.
Hey.
But it just seems like if you're facing someone head on, you have to fight them like this. Did I get him? I think I did. But yeah, all of them had these monster eye things on their bodies and hands and everything else. Almost kind of reminded me of One Punch Man with the kind of like the monster stuff that they would eat and they become monsters or whatever.
Yeah, the monster cells. Yeah, because
That's it.
yeah, they had these replica divine artifacts. So we actually saw somebody who was using powers very akin to Hisui. He was using the I don't know the name of her ability, but the eating ability that she had where she can just like eat everything in a certain radius. So they were all using those powers. And initially Hisui she was evading their attacks, but she didn't want to actually attack these guys because and I found this very interesting, and this is why I really like Hisui, because I think they put in the effort with her character. Especially she thinks back to the time where she was like 8 years old and she beat the shit out of a monster activist guy, and she got that talk from her senpai, I don't remember her name, but for the Green Rangers, where she was telling her like, even I understand you don't agree with their values, but that doesn't give you the right to to hurt people. So although she doesn't agree with these people advocating for the rights of monsters, invaders, she just bears it. She's like, all right, that's cool. Y'all can have your opinion on that as long as you don't side with the monsters. And that was the thing, because once she saw the monster come in there and it was like, all right, y'all are working with the monsters. Thank you.
And she did. She whooped every single one of their asses. They were like, help me. But yeah, D and I keep calling him Angel's dad. What's the guy's name?
Yakushi.
Yeah, okay. Yakushi. I'll try to remember that. D and Yakushi gets transported to another realm, and he slices him up, and I'm like, he's gonna find out he's a fighter and do something about it. Sure enough, he finds out he's a fighter, and he loses his damn mind in a geeky, nerdy sort of fanboy type of way. Oh my god, I love you fighters. Can you sign my shirt? Okay, I've never had anybody ask me for an autograph before, but okay. And then he opens up a drawer and all this manga and shit is open. He's like, I loved you ever since the beginning. I was a fan. I was this. It reminded, once again, One Punch Man reference. It reminded me of Garou and how he loved the villain and would root for the villain. But this guy kind of took it a little to the extreme. He didn't become one, but he's definitely a fanboy of one. And
Well, EA.
Okay. I spoke too soon.
We get a scene where, and this is jumping ahead, I don't want to really go too far, but we know what happens at the end, right? But there's a scene where they're asking Angel because they're about to inject themselves with the we just call it the monster serum, and Angel's like, no thanks, don't need it because I'm already half monster. And
I heard that and went, come again?
So
What?
given that would mean that one of her parents is a monster, which I think it's safe to make the assumption which parent that is.
Yeah, it's the mom.
Oh yeah, because she's not around.
Because we
She's a
haven't seen
monster.
her.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
she's a
Exactly.
ghost.
The Ghost of Christmas Monster Past. But when I heard that, I was like, Is that why you got two different colored eyes? Because you're half monster? Interesting.
Maybe.
So, but I'm like, if she's half monster, does that mean she can transform into a monster? And if that's the case, then I don't know. Like, that feels so. Because she wanted to be a monster. She wanted to be a ranger and fight against monsters, but then she was half monster the whole time and she knew it this whole time? That's weird.
Well, she was only in the Rangers to infiltrate them, basically to serve as a mole for this association. So she was never really with the Rangers.
Oh. I thought, okay. I don't know. It just, because it seemed like once she saw those monster bits and saw the one that had like the ID and everything, she was like, I quit.
Well, if you remember when she first was a part of the Green Squad, I don't know if you remember the scene, but she talked about how she really wanted to report that to her dad. I don't know if you remember that scene, but like that was not really a clue that she was a traitor, but that in retrospect was showing you like she was joining the Rangers because of the mission that she had from her father.
Okay. I guess I just didn't get that at all from her, but okay. I guess that makes sense now. So I'm curious to know now, because if she's half monster, I want to see her. I want to see Angel's monster form. Show me the monster form, boss. What is it? She just turns into really ugly, like ugh. I'd be like, girl.
I mean, we
No.
saw what was happening at the end of the episodes. Those things were hideous.
Oh yeah, they were getting rained on, and I remember looking at some of the things that people saying, I didn't sign up for this. I was just angry at the Rangers, which the Rangers, fuck.
Let's talk about it.
What are they doing? First of all, they have this kind of like meeting, conference, whatever you want to call it, between the Monster Protection Service Society and the Rangers, and they're trying to like, I don't know, uncover some things, blah 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 blah. Then one by one, they just start taking their helmets off, and it's like, teehee, I'm a hot this, I'm hot that, everybody's hot. And oh, go ahead.
Literally, that's they use it for that purpose, to show you everybody here is beautiful, so they can sway public opinion. Which that kind of is a thing.
Oh no, it definitely is. It definitely is a thing. And while that happened, we see Red is fucking alive. He's not dead, and I'm like, wait, I saw this man get stabbed by D ever so clumsily, but he stabbed him. How is he alive? And not only is this man alive, but he showed his true nature when the dad was just like, you're a little bitch. Just ripped his fucking arm off his body and just started beating the shit out of him. And I swear, everybody in the Red crew is fucking stupid, because his comrade or whatever is like, I must record this. But then I remembered it wasn't somebody who was Red.
Mhm.
It's that scarecrow looking motherfucker who,
Yeah.
you know, with a potato sack over his head, where it's like, it was me all along. Who are you? Who is this guy? I'm starting to get pissed off not knowing who this guy is, because he's always in it for like little fragments and whatnot. And I know he's trying to expose the Rangers and whatnot, but I want to know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like some vigilante or whatnot. And yeah, it's so the Rangers are basically canceled. They are the equivalent of being canceled.
They should have nipped Red in the bud a long time ago. He is a PR disaster. Like, and he's not one of those. He's not like Homelander, where you can't get rid of Homelander because he's Homelander. He has too much power. He just is. You have to manage him. That's the only thing you could do against him. Red is powerful, but you can get rid of Red. You can get another Red, and I think the Rangers would be fine. So I don't understand why they kept him around as a leader for so much for everything he does. Like, sure, like I said, he's powerful and everything, but for all the damage that he causes, it gets to a point where it's not worth it, which it showed itself here, because for the most part, it looked like their plan was working, showing how hot everybody was. Because when they seen Pink, everybody was like, oh shit.
Oh my God. Pink.
Monster rights? Let's talk about monsters' wrongs. And then
monster what? I'm more like, I want some of that.
more like I got a monster bulge in my pants.
I got a monster rager.
Yeah, well, it was working, and then Red fucks it up. As always.
Yeah, because you let some words get to him. But I agree. No, the other Rangers, there's 4 against 1, and fuck. Even if D could master stabbing this dude unsuspectingly, I guarantee you a top tier Ranger could have slipped in while he was sleeping and snapped his fucking neck or did something, put 2 in his head or something. Yeah, Red's gotta go, because the whole reason why they're canceled now is because of him. It's not because of anyone else. And the way that they can save themselves is if they kick him out. If they find a way to kick him out, that'll probably save them. It'll show that they want nothing to do with them.
It's over. I'm not going to lie. It's the perception of the Ranger. You can't come back from the heroes of justice ripping off a guy's arm on national TV with, I won't say no provocation, but with verbal provocation. That's all that he needed to be set off. Even if you let that guy go, the perceptions of the Rangers are tainted because Red represents the Rangers. He's the leader. He's the face. So it's kind of like if you have, I don't know, you could say any company.
In a new direction. We're going to purple. We're going to get a purple Ranger.
Well, let's say like the WWE. Like we have, we have Vince McMahon. It's like with all the shit that we known of him, yeah, you can have Triple H in there and everything, but it ruins the brand. It doesn't taint it to the point where people aren't going to stop messing with it, but there's going to be things that shift because of who your face is, and even if you get rid of that guy, it doesn't get rid of the stains.
No, you're actually spot on when it comes to that, for sure. But yeah, Red kind of screwed them over, and I don't know what's going to happen after this. I mean, yeah, we get a bunch of monsters being created now, but it's like, are the Rangers going to step up and fight? It did show them, I think, yeah, it did. It showed them at the end in their true forms, and I'm guessing Pink Ranger is forever wheelchair bound now, so she's going to be fighting in her wheelchair. She's going to have like missiles on the side and go, "Come at me, motherfuckers."
Well, with her, she just when she transforms, she's able-bodied. She's only in a wheelchair when she's not transformed.
That's right. Which they still never really explain how that works. But I'm guessing something with the power of the suits turns them into different beings. Because Chidori, we see how his personality is when he dons the green suit. He becomes a completely different person. So who's to say the same isn't the same with, if you're disabled, then you become able-bodied, transforming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems to be more than just a suit.
Yeah.
But this is what I want to say. So Hisui had this some of the things I'm gonna talk about some of the things that got cut, but going back to Hisui, because like you mentioned, she beats the MPS guys, with the exception of like this one crazy monster that ends up destroying her. They didn't show it, but Hisui still fought that dude after, after everything was after everything was done. She still lost in the end and got captured, but there was a scene that they cut from the manga where she fucking just goes behind him and just takes a big ass bite out of his neck.
Nice. Oh, I would have loved to have seen that.
Yeah, I'll show you the panel.
Cool.
But when she gets captured, and this is the stuff that I'm like, okay, I can't ignore this part, because they cut out a lot of different conversations that happen when Hisui is captured, because she ends up talking to because you saw the little of when XX is there and
The Return of XX.
and then Sakurama ends up being locked up in the same cell as Hisui. But there were conversations that happened before then. One where she had with D, and one that she had with Angel, which I found really captivating. In the conversation, when she's talking to Angel is basically shitting on Hisui and just saying how evil she is. And maybe they'll do this scene next episode. But it was just one part that I really liked out of the conversation, because I think Hisui asked, "Are you not going to question why them thinking it's Sakurama, why he's with you guys?" And Angel was like, "Well, I don't know, because she's never seen D transform. She doesn't know that D is an invader." But Hisui knows that he's an invader, and when she's talking about that whole situation, actually I think Angel's the one who says it in that way, but she basically says like, yeah, don't you find it strange that he's working with us? You don't have no questions about that? And then Hisui goes, well, if I revealed that to you, I would have to kill you and D both, because she doesn't want to acknowledge the fact that D is an invader. Like, she kind of buries that part in her heart, because we know how she feels about invaders, where she turns super violent. She turns super violent just with people who are supporting them. So we know how much she hates monsters.
Oh, the fighters aren't such bad people. No. I'm gonna take it back. I take it back.
Yeah, but I think it's an interesting like position that she's in, to where she really takes care of her kohais, the people under her. Like, she treats them like she's the big sister. So she wants to maintain that disposition with D, I feel, but because of who he is, him being a monster, it's like, how can I really be cool with you when I know what the invaders have done to me? So it was an interesting position. I really hope that they didn't cut that scene out completely. I hope it shows up next episode. But yeah. But I'll show you the one scene of Hisui biting the guy. That was a really good scene.
He absolutely likes to bite. She's a biter.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess while he's bringing that up, yeah, it was pretty much it. Like, we got the crazy Monster Protection Society. First of all, I know this happened in the very beginning. Love how people love to like talk about how, yeah, we're gonna have a nice little chit chat, but then when you're like, I don't want to indulge this, they're like, you're not leaving. It's like, what a way to convince people to be on your side by taking them hostage. Nothing screams, willing to compromise and willing to hear both sides more than just saying, fuck you, you're gonna listen to what I say if I have to beat the shit out of you.
Hey, hell of a sales pitch.
Right, right. But when I saw that, I was like, yeah, you're not convincing anybody with tactics like that. Um, but yeah, then it gets back up to, the keepers and how they got canceled. And then basically all the support that they lost went straight to the Monster Society. And then it was like, hey, you love the Monster Society so much, you can become them. And they
What?
literally be. And I love that. It's like, wait, no, I didn't want this. I love that quote. Like, no, I didn't ask for this. I didn't sign up for this. It's like Spider-Man. I didn't sign up for a cage match. Hey, freak show, you ain't going nowhere. I just wanted to last 3 minutes. I didn't ask for a cage match.
So,
And then the fucker gives him $100, not even the 10 grand.
oh my god.
Pisses me off to this day.
Yep. But yeah, didn't sign up for that at all. Just shows you that the evil was afoot. Yakushi was portraying himself to be like, the good guy, the person that was looking at it from a humanitarian perspective.
Mhm.
Like, these guys have emotions, they have feelings, we should treat them as humans. And then he goes around and then he just turns everybody into monsters. It's like, well,
As one does when you're trying to prove a point.
yeah. So,
Oh my god, crazy stuff. It was definitely better than the last week's. Because, like I said, I'm like, oh, I don't know where they're going to go with this series or whatnot, but it's piqued my interest again. Next week, I know, is a Killer Pass episode, so I guess we'll see what happens next week with that episode, because it literally is going to make or break the series. Because I don't know about you, but this particular season has been pretty lackluster for me anyway. Like, I enjoyed the arc with the school, but then it just kind of like ran into this arc with the Monster Protection Society, and now I'm just kind of left wondering what's going to happen.
yeah.
Oh, let's see what this. Oh, that looks sick. Oh, I love it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Little chomp in the back of the neck right there.
Yeah, and I'll look for the conversation that they. Oh, actually, it's right here. I found it that quick. Hold on, let me send this.
This message is brought to you by Satsuki's Pataro rings. If ever you want to become one with your friend, choose Satsuki's Pataro rings.
Here it is.
I'm sorry, I'm not Sakurama-san. Whatever, I'm fine. Whatever way. Both of you are traitors in my eyes. Well, I don't even know why Sakurama to join us. No, really, you don't. You do? Please tell me. No thanks. If I said it out loud, I'd probably end up killing him. Oh wow, yeah, that is a good saying. God, that adds so much layers to it.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm hoping that they save that for the next episode, because I thought that was a really great scene. Basically showing that. I mean, well, it confirms that Hisui knows if the clues didn't stick with people. But yeah, it confirms that she knows, and it shows that she's, because you will have the question of why wouldn't she whistleblow? Why wouldn't she expose that? And it's for the sheer fact that she doesn't want to kill him. She's bearing those feelings because she knows how she feels about monsters, but at the same time, she wants to be like a good Kohai, and also she does kind of owe him for saving her life when shit hit the fan going to the school, because he could have left. He got bounced out and he came back and saved them.
Right. He absolutely could have left, but he did indeed stay. So that speaks volumes right there. But it's almost like they don't want you to know. Like, I don't know, the anime makes it seem like Hisui doesn't know that, Sakurama is actually a fighter. But in the manga, we know, and that scene confirms it with
Yeah.
the talking about that. So it's like, I don't know, they're trying to go a different way, I guess.
Yeah, it's like they want to keep it a surprise that she knows, but it's like I don't know if that dramatic irony, or I think dramatic irony works better in that sense than what they're going for. But neither here nor there. I think that's it for Ranger Rejects. So it's time to talk about
Future diarrhea.
episodes.
18 and 19. My goodness. I mean, this episode and then the episode, both of these episodes, God. But we're starting with 18, and I love how it's introduced. We literally get a flashback of Yuno stalking Yuki, and it's like saying, she's talking in her mind, I wasn't stalking him. I was just kind of like keeping tabs on him, just making sure he didn't go anywhere. I wasn't stalking him. You crazy?
You know the funny part about episode 18? I feel like the section of Yuno's backstory was the best part of everything that we saw.
Oh, for sure. Especially what happens in the second half. Oof.
Yeah, well,
But
yeah, but it for me. I liked it. I liked that section, and I'd never seen it about Future Diary, especially at this point. But I like that section of Yuno's backstory just because. First, I'm sorry. I just found the whole bunny chase scene funny. I thought that whole thing was stupid,
ridiculous. And I love how it just wasn't even questioned. It was like, well, that was kind of weird. Here, let me help you up.
Like the one scene where she's trying to she like is face to face with Yuki, who has the love letter, and then she just like, and he's like, and he's like, wait, why do you want this?
Why do you want this so bad? And then he just runs away. And first of all, I know Yuno is a complete psychopath and a murderer and a killer and all the above. What did she do to warrant the police officers to be after her?
Public disruption.
I mean, she didn't do anything, to be honest, because
she made a kid cry.
But she didn't even know the kid was behind her the whole time. She's hiding behind a wall, and she's like, ah. And then the kid's like, oh, it's made me sad. And then the same thing happens later in that episode where they're walking through the mall, and it's like the kid's still traumatized. Oh, my baby's scary. Why did it growl? It's okay, sweetie. The bunny's gone. And then not even looking at him again. Just like, oh, and then they're like, no, not again. And for some reason, that warrants the police to be called on her. Again, I know she's psycho and I know she's a killer, but she didn't do anything to warrant the police to be called on her.
Yeah, and it was like 5 of them, and they like tackled her. That was the funny part. They was treating her like she bombed a school.
Where was these cops whenever they needed to stop her in the hospital? We needed those cops to be on the scene.
Dead, EA. Dead.
I mean, yeah, I know we had tactical gear, SWAT suit, police coming after her that died, but those officers tackled her in that bunny suit like nothing. They needed to stop her at the beginning because they know how to handle women like her. They're just like, all right, we're going to tackle you on the escalator and fuck your rights.
Yeah. But like that whole scene, although comedic, was sad in a sense. It really shows you how broken Yuno was because she's spending all this time to cop block Yuki, and you really get into why is she obsessed with Yuki, and it shows you that there's not even really a great reason for it. There's not much of any connection between the two, and I think that's what makes it so sad and tragic is that her fleeting thing of telling Yuki, hey, we should get married. She latched on to that because that was the only thing she had in her life.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it so sad. And I think this if Future Diary was actually serious about showing trauma and getting into the psyche of these characters and not just making her the cool psycho girl, I think this series could be a lot better than it actually is, but it doesn't do that. But here, I think it did a great job because it really showed you how broken truly was.
Yeah, because was it in this same episode too where we kind of get... No, it was this episode where we get a mini backstory of kind of how had basically abusive parents that like locked her up in a cage and everything. To piggyback off what you said about how if this show took itself more seriously and kind of focused on things like that, I would have loved to have seen more, being abused. As bad as that sounds in a sentence, I want to see more of that so that you can kind of like feel her pain. You could see why she acts the way that she does. And then maybe you could get that scene where she sees this kind-hearted boy and like latches onto that person because, like you said, this is someone who that's the only thing she has in her life because she has parents that lock her up in a fucking cage.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like that's something that's just glossed over and never really spoken of again. I mean, yeah, you have the scene where she's crazy talking to them. She obviously got the upper hand on them and locked them in the cage and everything. But I don't know. I feel like we needed more scenes like that. That way we could really feel for this person, and we didn't get that.
Yeah, because we don't get it extensively. It's kind of just stitched together. And it was hinted at before. I mean, we seen the dead parents in the cage, but we really got to see why there was even a reversal, because with her parents, it was she had to be the perfect kid, had to be at home, she had to make curfew, she had to have perfect grades, any little thing could set them off and get her locked up in that cage. And she eventually got fed up, did that to them, and it resulted in their deaths. And she said that she didn't mean to do it, but I'm like,
yeah, you did.
I mean, you don't starve in one day. So
yeah,
I feel like you tried.
It's not like you forget to feed a dog or a cat, or you overfeed your fish or whatever. Oh shit! I didn't mean to do it. Yeah. Real quick, we got a wave of messages here. David Butthurt, welcome in, David. He said plunger. Plunger right back to you. Midnight says he came just in time with the salute. Decrepit Storm, like how Apocalypse Hotel finds new ways to be great each week, Future Diary invents new kinds of stupid each episode. Very well put. She probably stole that suit. Yeah, she probably did. The mom, Weird Bunny isn't real. Wait, what? Weird Bunny isn't real. She can't hurt you. I don't know what that is. But Midnight also says, a great job might be pushing it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So thank you everybody for joining and coming in at the right time where we're talking about good old Future Diary. But yeah, so pretty much that was all. Like the first half was just like the flashback and just seeing what happened with Yuki gives the note over to this girl, and she's like, no, I don't like you. Sorry. Does the respectful bowing, thank you so much, but nah, I'm good. Mm-hmm. He gets rejected, poor guy.
Props to Yuki though for, some people might not have done that at all. And he did it with a crazy yandere bunny dressed girl cop blocking him the entire time.
I mean, he did have to put up with a lot just to tell this girl that he liked her, only to be rejected. My heart goes out to you, Yuki. So then the second half happens. Everything's back in the current time.
Now we're bad Future Diary.
Oh, bad. That's a bad Future Diary.
Yeah, get in the cage.
Get in the cage and don't eat for a week. My God. This was pure ass. Let's just put it. That's just to put it bluntly. So the dad shows up and goes, "I didn't kill the mother." Well, can you prove it? Prove it. I dare you to prove it. I bet you can't.
No. The thing that makes it funny for me is that the dad initially just doesn't address it. He just comes back to Yuki's home, which I don't know why he goes there. He doesn't live there. He goes back there and he acts like nothing happened. Yuki has to bring it. Yuki's just like, yo, why is my dad talking to me and joking with me like he didn't kill my mom?
Go make me a sandwich, Yuki.
Hey, who you think gonna win this? Who you think gonna win out of the Thunder and Pacers? This is gonna be a good series. You killed my mom. What are you talking about? And then,
that never happened.
Yeah. And Yuki's just like, clearly, he's like, you killed my mom. He didn't say it that explicitly, but he made it clear of what he thought. And Yuki's dad does the whole O.J. Simpson thing where he's like, if I did it, I would have never worn those gloves. I would have made sure there were surgical gloves. What? What do you mean? He said, suppose I did it. Who would ever say that? Who would ever?
Got something to hide.
There's nobody. If you're getting accused of something as egregious as matricide, nobody's going to go, let's think, if I did do it.
If I did do it, this is how I would do it.
Everybody would categorically deny it. Instead, he goes, well, she got stabbed with a knife and I don't like sharp items. I despise them.
I think that they're gross.
It was. There was even like a good way to manipulate or gaslight Yuki. I'm just like, wow, okay, well, okay, that's what we're doing. And it gets worse somehow. It gets worse.
It gets fucking worse. All right. Okay, well, before we get to that, so the police, they dig up all the bones in the 1,000-foot fucking crater in the back of Yuno's house.
The one that she digged with the shovel in love.
Yep, shovel in love. And it's the size of fucking Montana in the back of her house. And, they're like, we got some bones. There's some bones back there. There's your mom. There's your dad.
Mm-hmm. Normal.
There's also a third pile in there. Can you tell me what that is? Hey, where are you going? Hey, did I say you could fucking... Hey!
That scene was hilarious. She had no explanation, which honestly, that was one of the smartest things she's ever done. If you're in a situation like that, so you got to plead the fifth. Don't say shit. Just don't say shit.
Lawyer.
Yeah, lawyer up, because that's not going to look good no matter what you say. You can't explain your way out of that. So she just gets up and leave, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's smart.
Yeah, especially when we find out what happens in the next episode, but we'll be saying that till episode 19. So that happens. Wonderful police interrogation right there. Just beautifully masterful done. Yuki is following his dad all over like downtown or whatever it is, and come to find out, it's a telescope. I got it from a pawn shop. Remember that wish we made all those years ago about wanting to go on a picnic and seeing the stars and everything? Well, you know what? By golly, I wanted to make things right, Yuki. I wanted to do that in broad daylight. Look up at the sky, look up at the fucking stars, and just have that picnic with you. So come here and give me a hug, son.
This show, man. They actually did it. They actually did it. Like they kind of just erase. I'm like, okay, wow, okay. Yuki's holding his dad accountable. He's genuinely angry about what happened to his mom, and he's not letting him off the hook. And then it just turns into, he didn't say "I forgive you," but basically working towards that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it has been, your mom has been in the ground for a day, and you're talking about, hey, dad, maybe it's okay. Maybe.
Water under the bridge.
I'm sorry, that's not something that you would get over.
Let's let bygones be bygones.
And I'm not saying that he got over his mom's death in that scene, but the fact that he even thought of his dad being rehabilitated and all this other stuff, I'm like, that would not be on your mind. I think you would just see pure red looking at your dad there. I mean, you would probably try to kill him for what he did to your mom, especially being how senseless it was. There was no reason for that at all.
It was a completely and just stupid thing. Really quick, Decrepit Storm says he's acting as if Yuki is upset because he lost his favorite toy or some shit.
Yeah, like he's not reasonably angry, and he has the audacity to gaslight him. Like, no, you killed my mom, and I know you did it.
Decrepit Storm also took a quote from the show and said, "The first two are your parents, and that's fine." Yeah, that's totally fine, and that's completely all right.
And
but there's this third one in here where we have very huge concern over.
That's the thing too. Why is there not an investigation for why her parents are dead in the first place? There should, because Future Diary does this thing. I feel like Future Diary does so much stupid shit. They expect you to ignore everything, but no, we're getting into every single thing. Why is Detective Nishijima even have a conversation with in a cafe? Why?
Right. Why is she not being interrogated in a fucking police station?
She should have been detained. Now, would you have the evidence to lock her up? Yes, you would. Mm-hmm. Because she's the only one there at the house. So at the very least, you can hold her. That is enough suspicion to hold her. Right. Dead parent, two dead parents, and the body's buried with no explanation. No, she would be in jail. Something.
Yeah. I mean, you could at least hold her for a certain period of time. I don't know how it works in Japan, but I know here in America, if you're suspect number one, they can hold you for a certain amount until they have to turn you loose. And they can question you from sun up to sundown. So, yeah, it's definitely, she would have been a huge suspect, and they definitely should have detained her, had her locked up, something. And if she wanted to plead the fifth and lawyer up at that point, then okay, she'd still be in jail. Midnight said, to be fair to Dad, he agrees to turn himself in.
Oh,
see now.
Oh,
I honestly feel a little bit like he wasn't. The only reason I say that is because this guy is a notorious liar. He's down on his luck. He tried to kill his son multiple times, even though he didn't know it because he was told to snap the phone in half.
Mm-hmm.
Do we still know who said that?
It was
told him to do that.
It was someone a part of the orphanage. So it was one of the eighth people, big head lady.
So that was completely stupid. That happens. Steals his parachute and says, "Later, son." Jumps out of a building and everything, and yet this is going to be the same guy who was going to turn himself in after he had to be forced and told that you killed your mom. I didn't mean to. It was an accident.
EA, you bring a phenomenal point. Because what you just said there, they make it seem as if it was because he gets fucking stabbed. Stupid scene. We gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it. But they try to make it like a tragedy that this man who was about to turn a corner in his life and finally be the dad that Yuki always wanted, he loses his life tragically. And now we'll never see him get to be the father that Yuki always wanted. It's like, no, for those reasons you just said, he's shown himself from top to bottom to be a liar, a manipulator. Why now would he change? In fact, because here's the thing about him stabbing the mom. Is anybody even investigating that case? Is he even classified as a murder right now? He could get away with this because nobody, it seems, cares.
Case closed. She stabs herself. Case closed.
Where are the police looking for? Like, nobody even, it seemed like nobody cared. It was like, oh, she died.
Oh, yeah. She just kind of fell on her own knife. Yeah, whatever. Case closed. I've seen it 100 times. It's tragic. Really tragic.
So,
but yeah.
You make a great point. How am I supposed to reasonably believe that he was supposed to, all of that emotional manipulation with you going, oh, him going, dad, and everything. I don't feel anything because, like you said, am I seriously supposed to believe that he was going to turn himself in and be a new person? Like, what did he truly learn? What did he learn in all of everything that he did for the past 5 days or whatever that he's been with Yuki? How has he changed as a person? Did stabbing his ex-wife make him better?
Right. That was the one thing that was holding him back was his ex-wife. So, like, killing her, it lifted his spirit or something. I don't fuck that. Like, yeah, I honestly feel like, because when I saw this, I was like, there was no way this man was going to turn himself in. The fact that he died in the stupid way that he did was nothing more than just, I don't know. It was emotional manipulation, but I didn't think he was going to turn himself in. This guy's pawning shit that doesn't belong to him because he needs money, and yet this man's all of a sudden going to turn over a new leaf and turn himself in. I don't buy it. Not at all. So, but yeah, then he gets stabbed by, I guess, these cop cronies, because there's 4 of them. And then, at that point, Yuki decides to go Super Saiyan, because now he's a fucking stone cold killer and can, like, murder people like nothing. He kills one. I think he killed like 3 cops.
He killed 3.
Yeah, he killed 3 cops because he stabbed that one in the chest. And then
he took one hostage and he ended up, the other guy shot him.
Bullets being riddled and whatnot. And then forget how the other one died. But then good old Yuno comes to the rescue and slits the guy's back of his head. I came, darling. Dee. And now it's Yuki's dream or destiny to become God so that he can bring his mom and his dad back to life. We're literally going to do it's in the name. We're literally going to do ex machina everything, and everybody that's died is going to come back to life. It's going to be like a Dragon Ball episode, except not as good. And it's going to be just terrible, and it's shaping up to be this ridiculous just cop out where all these people can die. There's no real weight behind it. Not that there ever was, because we barely know these fucking characters to begin with. But in a good series, if we had weight behind these characters and we actually gave a shit, maybe, just maybe, it would piss us off if it was just one of those, everybody's alive again. Everything goes back to normal. But we don't get that. Instead, well, Yuki's going to do it, and now he's hell-bent on it, even if it means killing Yuno. And Yuno's like, yeah, that's cool. I love you so much, you could just kill me. Okay.
This show has the emotional weight of the Olsen twins fasting on Ramadan. There is no weight. There's
Oh my god.
there's absolutely nothing here. Even when you think there's something there, it's it's a mirage because it's going to. Even when you try to give the show props for something, it will reverse it in the next like 4 minutes. It's really like that crazy to me. I'm like, all right, like I said with episode 18, I'm like, wow, okay, that first, I don't know how many minutes it was, but I enjoyed the Yuno backstory. I thought it was funny, and I thought it was a good portrayal of how broken she was as a character, and like how it showed how warped she was to hold on to a tie that wasn't even deep at all. And then it proceeds in the next bit, the last bits of the show to show you how heinous the show really is. Like, it didn't do anything good after that point. The fact we got to talk more about the four guys going to kill Yuki. So my first question is, who the fuck are these people?
I was going to ask you that. Were they part of 8's crew?
Well,
Like, I don't know, because they didn't have phones. They just had knives. Were these rogue police officers that got laid off and they were pissed off because they kept failing their jobs at solving mysteries? You know what I mean? You cost us our job, motherfucker.
what? Okay, so at the end of episode 18, Murmur says 11th mate, is making his move. So I'm pretty sure that's 11th guys, the mayor guy. My thing is, it's another one of these situations where apparently everybody goes after Yuki and nobody else first. The other thing is, if he did send these guys to kill Yuki, why didn't they kill Yuki? Why would you kill his dad?
No witnesses.
And then the guy stabbed Yuki's dad and then like disappeared out of the shot. He was not in the shot, because then they showed the four guys creeping up on him, like, slowly encasing them. And it's like, wait, what happened to the guy that just stabbed him? If the objective is to kill Yuki, why not stab him and then stab Yuki? And then there's a guy who had a gun and then doesn't use it until the other guy is used as a bodyguard. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is going on?
And nothing says, you know what I'm gonna do to protect you, friend, then fill him full of bullets. I mean, how stupid can one be? It was so bad. Real quick, the Decrepit Storm said these kids in the school set off the bombs themselves. Case closed.
That's the headcanon. All the cops in this series just want to go home. They don't actually do any work.
That's what I'm saying. They came back pissed off whenever they got fired because they just didn't do their job right. They're like, all right, we're going to do some vigilante justice and kill these motherfuckers. They were trying to kill Yuki because he got 100% of the test. He's saying that.
There's no way this kid could be that smart. We'll see how smart you are when your brains are on the floor.
You were going to kill your dad first because fuck you. And, 100%. You didn't see this knife coming.
What is good, Ellie? Here, got to rewatch, but I was here. That's the problem with this show. It's so transparent. They only wanted Yuki's dad. Does it make sense that Yuki's dad got stabbed first? Fuck no. But why did they do it? Because they wanted to emotionally manipulate you, and they wanted to spark a new Yuki, like a Yuki who was crashing out, like this is a character arc for him. I don't know why you couldn't just do that with his mom dying. I feel like that would have probably been a better place, especially since he actually cares about his mom. But that's neither here nor there. the problem is that you just did it for that fact of wanting to change Yuki and wanting the audience to feel sad for Yuki father's death. But when you actually look at how the scene is framed, it's like that didn't make sense at all. If someone was sent to kill Yuki, why would they not go for Yuki first?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's nothing more than just that emotional manipulation for a character who was a piece of shit to begin with. It's like we don't care that he's dead. I don't care that he's dead. I don't think anyone cares that he's dead. He just, I'm gonna turn over a new leaf. Yeah, sure.
No.
You were in debt and you were willing to kill your own son just to get out of that debt, and now all of a sudden you're gonna turn over a new leaf, please.
So somebody cares that he's dead.
Oh yeah, it's Yuki. That's the only one who cares.
The people and the people he owes money.
Oh, true. Because now, where are they going to get that money from? They're just looking up at the sky, going, "No, he owed us $3 million.
Oh,
Where are we going to get that money now?
Get it from Yuki now.
Get it from Yuki. Oh, he's probably dead too. Yeah, you're probably right. Yes. And then that episode ends with willing to be killed by Yuki, but Yuki's like, I'm going to become God and save everybody. And that is my story. Because I'm Yuki, the main character.
Yeah. Now Yuki is willing to actually win this death game. 18 episodes in.
Good thing, because
yeah.
now that we're 18 episodes in, now he gives a shit, and it's like, this is my true purpose in life. And you know how there's some people that are like, you gotta wait till like the 18th episode before it gets good. This is when things really get good. My God.
Yuki catching 3 bodies easily makes me think this game is pretty easy. Maybe I could win if I had a future diary. Yeah. Oh,
seriously?
No. We didn't talk about like the actual like how that whole thing happened. And I'm gonna make this point the next episode because I thought next episode was stupid too. This series keeps treating reading the future as if that means you have the physical capabilities to enact on the future that you see. Because he uses diaries like, oh, this guy's going to stab me right. No,
Michael Jackson.
That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Just because you know if I know how Mike Tyson is going to punch me, that does not mean I'm going to evade Mike Tyson for a good amount of time. that's not what it means.
To dodge left. Nope, that didn't work.
And then 2, Yuki's diary only gives him the future in increments of 10 minutes. Why do they keep treating the future as if he has like literal future sight? Like he's one of these like omnipotent characters or something. Like he's in One Piece or whatever. He has future sight. That's not how it works.
Yeah. Yeah, because if that was the case, he should have saw that his dad was gonna fucking die.
Exactly. That's my point. They only are able to use the future for their convenience when it's to get them out of a situation where they should obviously die. That's the only way their future diary works. So it's less of a future diary and more of like a death avoidance diary, because that's the only time it actually fucking works for anything.
Yeah. 10-minute increments. Couldn't see the fact that his dad was gonna die. Couldn't look at it and go, oh, this is such a tender moment. Hold on. Oh, shit. We should turn around, Dad. We should go the other way because I don't think this is not a safe area anymore. I know you want to see the stars in broad daylight and everything, but come on. We got to go this way. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Shall we discuss episode 19?
Oof. The beginning of this episode, man.
Okay. Yuki aged into a fucking adult in a span of 5 days. But did you want to talk about the mayor first, or did you want to talk about Yuki?
Both are bad.
Get a little ahead.
Both are bad, but let's talk about the mayor first because he gives the cheesiest performance I've seen.
Think about the children
as he's talking about breaking up an orphanage. Who the fuck would buy? I mean, listen, we got some stupid people in this country, but who the fuck? How is it a believable performance of a guy who's literally telling you, I want to destroy this orphanage because of them possibly having a terrorist or something in there? So instead of just like, I don't know, crazy idea, using the police to actually investigate that and punish that person for their crimes, instead of that, I'm going to disband the entire orphanage. How does that make sense?
It's the orphans' fault for being orphans.
and then there's not a plan. There's not a follow-up plan. Like, oh, maybe we screen these guys, and then like the people who are obviously kids, maybe we transfer them to a different orphanage. Something. No, let's just break up the orphanage and then just have the orphans just be on the street. Is that the plan? I don't understand. Is that the plan?
For this mayor, yeah. It's Mayor Trump. I mean Mayor number 11 right here, where he's just like, yeah, we gotta do this for the children. Please do it for the children. You know what? He makes a lot of good sense.
Yeah, he cried.
I believe this man. He cried. He shed a tear. I believe him. You got my support. Applause.
He also smiled in the middle of that performance. And it wasn't one of those things, how anime like Death Note, for example, they do the whole thing where the person is plotting and they'll smile in their mind, but they make it obvious with the colors and whatnot that this person is only showing this in his mind. No, they didn't do that with him. He literally smiled after that performance. He literally went
yeah. Jesus. No one called him out and said, why did you just make that evil laugh just now? I thought you were crying. Are you okay? Yeah, I just thought of something funny even though I was crying.
Oh my god.
Maybe we shouldn't go through with this plan. I don't like that laugh anymore. I think a little different now.
Yeah. And why? Whatever. They break up the orphanage. It's going according to his plan. Also, we didn't know this was 11th at the start, but obviously it's 11th. It's Future Diary. They're not going to introduce a character who was obviously evil unless they're a Future Diary user. That's just how it works.
Yeah. And for the first time in like a good while, we see Deus Ex Machina and his merry band of fucking people show up, and they're still hidden and whatnot. We have all maid terrorists, Chef Boyardee. We now are introduced to the mayor because shocker, I didn't see that coming, like you said, and it's like Yuki and are late. And they haven't been showing up to these things for quite a while now. So you know what? I think I'm going to kick them out. And then all of a sudden, like I said earlier, Yuki aged and matured overnight because he looks so much older. And he's like, not so fast, God. And him and Yuno show up on the same pedestal. Can be seen, by the way, because whatever, logic. We are here, and we are going to take you down, Mayor blah, 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 exposing him. And then Deus Ex Machina is just like, well, I might as well not keep anybody else's. Oh, no, we see their identities. Oh, shit. We didn't know who they were.
Oh, my God.
Even though every villain goes for for Yuki and Yuno, and it's like, oh my god, they revealed them. So yeah, now it's all out there. All 5 remaining diary users are now officially there to see everybody. So Yuki becomes a badass. His balls drop. Says this epic speech that we find out later is scripted, and just kind of goes, "I'm gonna take you down, Mayor." And that was kind of like that. I was just like, who is this character and what did he do with Yuki? He's not the same person.
This is so ass, man. Deus Ex Machina wants to kick Yuno and Yuki out, what does that mean? Does that mean that they're not going to be future diary users anymore? Does that mean that they're going to die? We don't know what that means.
They're out of the club now. Wait,
Yeah,
this is just a regular cell phone now.
You can't sit with us. You can't be God anymore. Because I didn't show up to the meeting in 5 days. First of all, when has this ever been a mandatory thing? Whenever they do these meetings, I mean, well, the one time that we did see it with Yuki, it just happens.
Episode.
It just happens. It's not like, Yuki, punch in real quick and join the meeting, or Yuki, sign in, join what's the goddamn webcam app?
Oh,
Zoom. Yeah, join the Zoom. This never happened. He just boom, and then everybody's in the meeting. So what happened to that? Again, when has it ever been a thing to where it's like, yeah, you got to sign in, and if you don't sign in, there will be consequences, like it's a job or something.
You're going to be fired from being God. You no longer can get the opportunity. Like they don't even die or anything. It's just you can't play anymore. We're going to give it to 2 other random people. Time isn't of the essence or anything, but fuck you. You're done. We're going to give it to somebody else.
Which, if that was the case, then shit, let me do that. I don't want to kill people. Can I get out of the game? If it was that easy to get out of the game, can I get out of the game?
Seriously.
I'm not trying to be the god of the whatever causality or whatever. No, thank you.
Oh my god. Yeah. That happens. We kind of, I don't know. It seems like, I mean, I know it's only been 5 days, but it feels like years have gone by because Yuki and Yuno just kind of have like different outfits. They look older. They look more mature. And for no reason, Yuki teams up with, is this Chef Boyardee, Kamado?
Yeah, Chef Boyardee.
He teams up with Chef Boyardee for no reason, no explanation, just to say, you know what? Let's take out 11. Oh, if you betray us, oh, don't worry, I won't. Wink, wink. What was that wink? Oh, nothing.
Chef Boyardee is teaming up with the man and woman who has killed a majority of everybody. Like, just think about that. If let me think of like a series. Like, let's talk about, I don't know, Frieza. Which, I mean, this did happen in Dragon Ball, but let's just say
Super.
This circumstance where it's like, all right, Frieza comes to me and goes, "Hey, you want to work together to kill all the other participants?" Now it is a little different in Super just because they got Frieza instead of Frieza going to them. But if Frieza came to me and said that shit, I'm going, no. or I'm going to be suspicious of him the entire time because of him.
Trust you.
Yeah, because of what he's done. If Yuki and Yuno again have killed like 6 future diary users, 6 or 7, why the hell? And yeah, the other dude was being distrusting, but he wasn't being distrusting enough for me. Honestly, they should have had, because they had just one guy looking at Yuki. I'm like, no, you should have a whole a whole section of your orphan army. I can't believe I gotta say
army.
that's what it was. She literally has a little girl working with her.
An orphan army.
There's-
That's so funny.
There's a little girl that's working with her, and she's a part of this this legion because I guess being orphans makes them powerful or something.
Orphan Sentai.
And then too, they tried to, because the little girl has a conversation with Yuki, and she talks about how good of a person Chef Boyardee is, and the only thing I could think of is like, how is Chef Boyardee a good person if she's literally enlisting all the orphans to fight for her, and she's not doing any fighting herself?
Doesn't sound like a good person to me.
You're enlisting the help of a little girl, but you're a good person. Also, EA, because this show wants you to forget what happened with I and Marco. Like, you remember how that tower blew up?
Oh yeah, they're supposed to be dead.
They're part of the orphanage, right?
I believe so.
The person who blew up the tower is a part of Chef Boyardee's orphanage army. So she orchestrated that. So she got her own people killed. So
Pretty bad.
the same person that did a terroristic act is enlisting literal children to help fight for her while she's not doing any fighting herself, and who's actively trying to kill another person right now in this episode. How is that a good person? What good thing have you just said?
Satsuki, you just don't understand. She's got a giant head.
She
That makes her a good person.
She made some good tomato macaroni.
She makes some good ravioli. I mean, come on, look at that. That face alone, and those pastries, and the fact that she could be tripped and flipped and not spill anything. She's a great person, and she's voiced by Monica Rial. That
true.
tells you how great of a person she is.
Oh man. But yeah, so they go in there with their ass out and follow Yuki and Yuno's plan. And their plan,
What could go wrong?
their plan is the fact that they tried to make this seem like a heist. This is the most simple fucking plan I've ever seen. They figure out the route that 11th has taken, which he's the mayor. So I feel that he's easier to find than y'all are easy to find, just in the sense of like, you would know his actions would be more telegraphed. Now, considering he's the mayor, he would have more resources to find people, which that's my problem with this show. A lot of people don't use their resources to their advantage. Somehow Yuki and Yuno, who just work with each other, somehow they find out all this information that people with literal government ties can't find out. But yeah, their plan is, we're going to check his route, do a fake stop, gas the car, and then kill him. All charge him and kill him. That's the plan. And what stops them all in their tracks is him having this device on his car, which,
like a disruptor.
yeah, it basically gets rid of all their connections. So because they're Apprentice Diary users, they can't read the future anymore. But yeah, that's the thing. EA, okay, I can't read the future anymore. Does that mean I can't fight anymore? Am I killing him with the future or with the knife, the machete I got in my hand?
Seriously. Can I still snipe this dude from up top the tower and like blow a hole through his head, or am I just like, oh, well, there it goes?
I don't get it.
Yeah. The world and the explanation of these diaries is just so bad and so inconsistent, and so 1 minute it's like some of the best thing you could possibly use to survive, and then the next minute it's like, I mean, hell, I forget what episode it was, but when that one dude becomes a temporary diary user, like, he knows the future and still gets shot with an arrow. And then they were kind of trying to prove right then and there where it's like, well, even if you know the future, doesn't mean you can stop it. You
Yeah.
just have to be smarter, or if you know of it, you have to try to figure out how to get past that point. So, once again, the disruptor goes off, all the phones are dead. So now it's like, duh, which way did he go, George? I don't know. And then they all just stand there and fucking die
Yeah,
as
get mowed
Yuki
down.
and Yuno just pop, 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 one by one. And then the one guy that was suspicious is like, you bastard! You betrayed us! I am completely shocked.
Also, this is also going to be ignored, but I won't let him get off the hook. Yuki is a good shot now.
I mean, he shoots one cop in the chest, and all of a sudden he's, I don't know, just one of the greats when it comes to shooting with one hand. I'm telling you, this guy aged years in 5 days. He's apparently just a marksman.
He either went into the hyperbolic time chamber or he did some training with Supreme Kai, Elder Kai, one of them. I don't know what happened.
Elder Kai is just doing that while reading a porno mag. So stupid.
The Griffin store said their knives needed an internet connection as well.
Oh my god, yes. Oh, my knives! They're not working! I have those Wi-Fi knives.
Oh.
Or 3G
The
knives.
Bluetooth knife.
The Bluetooth knife. That says knife. Whenever I speak into it, I just go, knife, and then it attacks.
They playing Call of Duty, they can't shoot without aim assist. I guess that is the thing. I just don't understand how the plan stopped. I understand Yuki started killing them when that thing went into action, but the fact that none of them got to him at all, despite the close proximity, is crazy. And why would Yuki even stop them from trying to kill him? Like, I don't understand the whole plan of, oh, we're going to trick them and then kill. It wasn't even killing two birds with one stone. They killed one bird with poop because the plan wasn't good to begin with, but they still tricked their allies. And the thing is, is like, wouldn't you want to go after the stronger person? Wouldn't that make more sense?
Right. And they didn't even get Chef Boyardee at the end.
Yeah.
They got all the
How
minions.
did her big head ass escape?
Her big head ass like tumbled down the fucking mountain, and then, you know, the cop was like, get in if you want to live. And that was it.
And
She lived.
mind you, the cop saves her, but he doesn't do anything when Yuki is gunning down the rest of the orphans.
Oh, that's a shame. He's just killing a bunch of orphans. Oh, and Yuno just totally decapitated that one. Oh, come in, big head.
She ran down a mountain to kill oh no, it wasn't the little girl, it was the guy. But yeah, the cop literally is just like just waiting for his cue to do something. And I'm like, are you a cop or not? What are you here for?
Seriously, let's let a bunch of orphans fucking die. Not a diary user or anything. Orphans. Because fuck their future.
I think that's it. He just cares about future diary users. That's it. If you're not a future diary user, he doesn't care.
Yeah, so ridiculous. She gets in the getaway car, they drive off. And now Yuki can fucking drive a vehicle like fucking Steve McQueen or something. And it's just like one hand, Skid Row, all that shit.
Elder Kai training.
You know, you hang out the window looking sexy and shoot your gun. I'm going to go ahead and drive with one hand on the wheel looking at the future diary, and I'm going to tell you where to shoot. And yeah, shoot it right now. But then, you know, the mayor says, I have the best future diary. It's the future diary that knows what you're going to do before it happens, basically.
Yeah, I don't know if you thought this was stupid. I thought this was very stupid. So he knows he knows like what they're going to do, everything. Cool.
Yeah.
He's not the one driving. So why are they treating it as if because he knows the future, the car moves how he wants it to? I was just like, wait a minute. The cop is driving, not you. Why is it? Hey, I know the future. So is he just relaying the information going, go right now?
Jiggle right and go really quick. Oh, and then jiggle left and go. And she's about to shoot in the car. Be sure to act cool and dodge a fucking bullet in real time by just doing that with your neck. Because that's how bullets work. They don't travel at a speed that no one can stop. My God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that. No. I mean, I didn't even think about that, but you're right. He wasn't even driving, and the car just went stutter like that. And I'm like, but now that you say that, I'm like, you're right. He wasn't driving, so that means the cop did that. What did he do? Did he pinch his fucking nerve on like the back of his neck, and he's like,
it was like a horse riding. He was, nah.
oh my, yeah, pretty much.
And then Yuki and Yuno run them off, and the fucking the concrete breaks. Listen, you can't even do this shit in GTA. No. You can't even do this shit in GTA. If you did this in GTA 4, you would fly out the windshield and die instantly. They break through the concrete as if they are the Kool-Aid Man breaking through someone's home.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Storm really quick says the police do not care about kids' lives, as shown by this and the school bombing. Oh, Decrepit, you're funny. But yeah. So they stop it right then and there. I guess before, like, this is kind of like winding down to what's gonna this epic twist. As this is all happening, before they even got to that concrete wall. Yuno gets a text and she's like, oh my God, the police found out what the third body was. Well, I can't let Yuki find out what that is. And Yuki's like, don't worry, baby. Just keep looking sexy and shooting out that window. Because again, Yuki's a completely different person now, all of a sudden. He's just like a badass and that's all he does. He's just like, yeah, babe, just keep being sexy.
Yeah.
And then, they stop the car. Yuno is like monologuing, which is very cliche for what villains do, and has him dead to rights. Could just put a bullet right in his head, and that would be that. There's no way he's gonna do the whole fucking neck thing there. But I mean, who knows? Maybe this guy is just super fast with his neck. But instead, he goes, I have a trick up my sleeve. Oh yeah, what is that? Because all the orphans are dead. Who said anything about orphans? And then who comes riding on a Harley or Kawasaki, whatever, just revving through? None other than our favorite lady, one-eyed terrorist maid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and what's his name? Israel?
Akise.
Akise. I knew it started with an A. He's there. Ooh, what a twist. And so is the maid. Haha, I got a grenade. Where'd you get a grenade? I don't know. Just something out of Anchorman. They're there, and you know the cops do a double cross. Even the cops like pointing a gun at them, like doing a double cross. It's like, is everybody just double crossing each other now? Everybody's just, sheesh.
Yuno has this guy at gunpoint for 30 whole seconds and does nothing. Why are they talking to him? Why does she care? Yuno is so inconsistent with how ruthless she can be. She's the same person that will kill. She literally, when she saved Yuki, she went up behind that dude's and it was like a jump scare almost. Killed him. But now, of course, when the situation demands it, when we don't want to kill this character immediately, even though it makes sense to kill him immediately, she shows up and just sits there and talks with them. What?
It's the new uniform. The new outfits change their personality, and they're completely different now.
That's in that Lego ass freeway.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh my god.
So everybody's got them by gunpoint now. Ikise comes out and says, Yuki, I have something here for you that you might be interested in. Tosses it over. What is it? Present for me? Yeah, you could say that. We found out what the third body was. Open it up. The fuck is this? It's my foreskin. No, I'm kidding. It's an umbilical cord to a baby that was born, blah, blah, blah. Why he needed to show it as if he was going to fucking understand it when he saw it, I don't know. Basically, and here's the big twist, everybody. Get ready.
Ooh, I'm so ready.
Because when this happened, I'm sure the writer, the mangaka, the creator, whatever, was probably like, this is gonna blow everybody's fucking mind. It's so insane. The third body. Now, everybody, you need to sit down for this. If you're driving, listening to this, pull over and park. If you're jogging, you need to stop and just take a breather and listen to this. The third body that was found in that hole was none other than Yuno's body. What? Yuno's body was the one buried, but Yuno's alive. How is that possible? What? What happened? I mean, Akise said, Yuno's an imposter. Don't listen to him, Yuki. Don't listen to him. Please, darling, believe me. Believe me. He was cool, suave, and sophisticated this whole episode. Here's that from Akise. Has the hands like this and everything. And, it's a cardinal sin whenever you do that in anime, because this is basically means that you're fucking. And then whenever he let go, no! They broke up. Again.
Oh my god.
Again, they're broken up, and again, they're off. And now we're just left with a bunch of questions. What? The body was Yuno? What does that mean? What does that mean? I don't understand. How could Yuno be dead but also alive? Is she a... So, that's how the episode ends, is with the very shocking reveal that the third body, again, for all of you listening just now and just didn't hear this part the first time, it's Yuno. Yuno who's alive was also Yuno the dead body. Wow. Just wow. Just when I thought the series couldn't get any deeper than that hole in the background, in the backyard.
You can tell this series was very proud of this twist. That was their crowning achievement right there. Like you said, you could feel the mangaka just putting his feet on the desk, grabbing his whiskey, twirling it, taking a sip, cutting a cigar, lights it up. Man. Back to the chair, spins around the chair, just goes, damn, I'm good.
I fucking did it.
That was this word is being repetitive on this. It was ass. That was ass. That whole reveal. First of all, we're dealing with a series that's called Future Diary, where we know the future is where reality can be bended and people can be brought back to life. So this whole angle of this being an imposter, we can kind of see where this is going. Or you can kind of get an inkling. This is not as big of a thing that they're trying to make it. And here's the thing. Let's just run with the imposter theory. Okay, Yuno's an imposter. What does that actually mean? Like, if Yuno isn't who she said she was, why would that matter? We don't really know who Yuno is to begin with.
It's like, who is Yuno when she's not an imposter? Is she just this sweet, heavenly, angelic, just wonderful person? We don't know that. We don't know anything about the real Yuno. Nothing. And also, how is she dead? Does that mean she killed herself? Or does that mean the parents killed her? There's just all these stupid questions going off in your mind. And I know they're going to explain it, which, by the way, next week, y'all, we have the next 3 episodes, 20, 21, and 22. This is the last time we'll be watching stuff in sets of 3, so we'll be taking our future diary vaccines right before or after we watch them, whichever. And then, that's essentially how that'll go. But I feel like if you did it, because honestly, and I'm just being honest when I say this, I don't really remember much. Like, what happens after. I mean,
I remember what it is. I remember what it is. It's
okay.
It's, I'll say this much, for as much as I was shitting on it. It's interesting. I do think it's interesting. It's just that it's not as complicated as the series tries to make it at all. Like, they bring up this, for this to be the smoking gun, so to speak, because this has been a lingering mystery for a good majority of the show. It is not as deep as they try to make it. And I guess that's my issue with it. If it had more of an impact on me, I'll be fine with it. But it's just like, from my knowledge of what it is, I'm like, all right. I mean, that's cool and all, but I don't think that's that crazy. So, yeah, that's what it is. The whole way that was brought up though is stupid. Why is Akise even bringing this up to Yuki? Arrest her.
Seriously, who cares? Arrest her, put her in jail, shoot her. I don't fucking know.
What does this information do now that Yuki knows it? Like, is their goal just to split Yuki and Yuno up? I don't exactly get it.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe it's to split them up. Doesn't Ikase kind of have a thing for Yuki? Doesn't it kind of hint at that? So maybe it has something to do with that then? Maybe he really likes him and it's just, get Yuno away from him. And what better way than to show an umbilical cord that he's totally going to know what the fuck that is by just showing it to him. It's like, what's this? It's an umbilical cord.
Duh.
And this means what to me? You know what?
You don't know what that means? They teach you anything in school?
Elementary, my dear Watson. Okay, fucking whatevers. So, yeah, that's the end of that episode 19. Like I said, next week we'll be talking about episodes 20, 21, and 22. We are coming down to the nitty gritty. We're almost done with Future Diary, and something tells me we're in for a whole bunch of suck next week.
Man.
Well, we got viewer questions.
Hey, it's been a minute.
Yeah, we have 2 this week. Viewer questions. And we got the 2. Oh, You want to read the first one, or
I got it. I
can
got
read?
it.
Okay.
Who has the best future? Oh, maybe I'm not as cut out for this as I thought.
Take two.
Who has the best diary in Future Diary?
That's a good question.
The issue
As shitty
is we don't really.
They're kind of all the same, really. I mean,
No. There's an obvious answer to this, EA. It's Uryu. Her future diary can spawn missiles out of her vagina.
oh yeah. Well, I don't have a vagina, so I guess
Oh.
I could spawn missiles out of my ass,
Yeah.
or on my pee hole, whatever.
And motorcycles.
Yeah, motors. Okay, you know what? That is a pretty good future diary. I guess another one honorable mention would be one that isn't a traditional diary. It's the one that the crazy dude had, and it like plays like a recording, and you hear it vocally or whatnot.
Mm.
That's kind of unique and different, but it's like barely talked about.
The problem with these diaries is that we know their names and we may get a little of what they do. Like Marco and Oz, all we know is that their future diary keeps tabs on the other. What that means, we don't really know extensively. Like, we know how Yuno and Yuki's diary work to the finer details. But because we don't know that with other diaries, it makes it hard to go, what is the better diary? Because those weaknesses really make a big difference in determining who has the best future diary. Like the only diaries that they've really got into that I could think of are Yuki, Yuno. They actually did a decent amount with was it Subasa or Subaki? Hold on. Subaki.
The blind one.
Yeah. And the cop, I guess.
Yeah.
Like we don't know Hiyama's future diary. We don't really understand Hojo's diary either. The killer kid, like it just all we know is we know his diary is the worst because it gives him like 3 entries a day and they're all drawings, but we don't know what that future tells him exactly. Ace, we don't know how her diary works exactly. We just knows it creates other ones or something.
Mm-hmm.
Uryu's, we don't understand how the escape thing works. Does it just tell her how to escape? Otherwise, she doesn't get future entries. Like, how does that whole thing work? You know what I mean?
No idea.
The dog dad, they went into that. They told us how that worked. It kind of just works with like what the dog sees is what he gets. And the Power Rangers guy, I don't remember how his diary worked.
Who is the father of her missile children?
The cop, because they're making that a thing. Because for whatever reason, the cop is fine with having a terrorist be his informant. Like,
He loves her.
the people he's going after and the people that he's targeting, none of them are worse than Uryu, or none of them have done worse than what Uryu has done.
It's very true.
Still, to this day.
Yeah. If someone who even admits that she's a terrorist doesn't even like have any shame for it. She's just like, yeah, I'm a terrorist. What of it?
Still hasn't killed more people than Uryu. Like, still. Nobody has.
They blew their load like the first 2-3 episodes.
Yeah.
Literally.
All right.
Last question. What are your top 3 anime original series?
Oh, this is
That's a
easy.
good question. For me, I love Cowboy Bebop. It's a great original. Probably one of the best original series ever. Odd Taxi is another one. It is an incredible series that I feel like everybody should listen and watch. And I think Ping Pong the Animation's an original series that I always suggest to people. If it's not, my bad. I thought it was when I first saw it, but it's one of the better ones. It's one of the better sports ones, I think, when it comes to original series, and I recommend anybody watch that too.
Yeah. For me, Kill La Kill,
Ooh,
Odd Taxi, and Madoka Magica.
nice. Yeah, those are all great. All
Yeah.
really good, especially Kill la Kill.
Yeah. I almost finished rewatching it because I've been doing that on stream. Almost done.
Gurren Lagann is a great one too.
Yep. No, Baccano's not an anime original. Never mind.
It's not.
No, it has a novel. Is it a light novel?
I
Yeah,
love Baccano.
It has a novel.
Aw, I really like Baccano. It's really good.
Yeah, it is a light novel series.
Let's see. Anything else as I look on my wall? No, just Cowboy Bebop.
I mean, Psychopaths is another great one.
Yeah, and that's an original. Like, I like the first season. Like, say what you will about the other ones, they're hit or miss, but I do enjoy that series. That is a good series. I haven't seen that in a minute.
And the one that we watched on a podcast. I mean, there's a lot. There's Carol and Tuesday, Code Geass, even though I'm not as like high on it as I used to be.
Yeah, Code Geass is pretty good.
And I think
Do you think?
Shinsekai Yori was anime original. I'm probably wrong though. Never mind, I'm wrong. I just looked it up.
Yeah, there's so many good anime originals. I feel like a lot of stuff just gets either adapted from mangas or light novels anymore. And that's what builds the hype for them and whatnot, and I get that. But when you get good anime originals, you get some pretty good ones. Like this particular season, Apocalypse Hotel is a great anime original. Fantastic. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe by the end of everything, we can consider it one of the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a special place for me already. So
Shampoo hat gone.
but I think that about wraps up everything. So appreciate everybody for joining us tonight. We had a good showing. Good discussions for all of these shows. Hoping that everybody joins us next week. We're nearing the end of the spring 2025 season. It has been a good season. I think the next season might even be better though, with what we might cover and what we will cover.
Should we talk about the ones that we might cover, or do we want to keep that a secret?
I mean, it wouldn't hurt to talk about the like speculation because nothing's finalized.
Because there's some that I know that are coming back that we're definitely going to be watching, especially Dan to Dan.
Yeah.
Dan to Dan's one.
My Dress Up
Sakamoto
Darling.
Days. Oh, My Dress Up Darling. I think Sakamoto Days comes out in the summer as well. So those are three that we are definitely covering because we began watching them.
Yeah.
And we're going to finish them. But there's room for more. Whatever we decide.
Yeah, I've heard about that one series this summer. Hikaru died, so that may be something that I want to talk about. But I think we're just gonna, do what we did last season. It worked. Just do a little research about these shows. Read the synopsis, watch these trailers. Look at the studio. Just do a little research to screen some of these shows, and we'll work from there. But
Shield Hero season 4. Sorry, that's that. New panty and stocking with garter belt comes out in the summer.
oh shit!
Holy
Forgot
shit,
about that.
indeed.
Talk about anime originals.
Rent a Girlfriend season 4. Gotta bring back the crew. Me, Rising Sun, and Sea Tactics out of a straitjacket.
You gotta love yourself, brother. I know we're watching Future Diary, but you don't gotta watch these bad shows back to back every season.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not gonna watch it back to back. I'm gonna do it like I did last season, where I'm just gonna split it up,
My
like
God.
3 episodes per, and it's gonna be each person talking about it. That way, we don't torture ourselves too bad.
And the funny part is, y'all not gonna miss much between those
Nope.
episodes.
Guarantee it.
Mhm.
Guarantee it.
But all right, we have the links to our Patreon in the chat, as well as our Bisky, our Blue Sky. To join our Patreon, it is only $1 a month.
$1.
$1. I would say that's pretty cheap. Just considering how the prices, everything have risen. Tariffs may
will not-
rise, the sun
will
may
not
rise, but not our prices for our Patreon.
That's right. That is right. You can do the gauntlet again. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking of doing that Decrepit Storm. Unless you're talking about on here doing a gauntlet, kind of like what we did with that one show.
Oh, also, the Chainsaw movie is coming out. That is going to be a while. It doesn't come out
Oh.
to September, but
And also, doesn't the Demon Slayer movie come out this summer?
July 18th.
Oh, yeah. I'm watching that in the theater. Oh, yep. There it is, July 18th. I am definitely watching that in the theater. That is going to be one worth watching. Nice.
Well, appreciate you guys for joining us tonight. Had fun, had a blast. Hopefully you guys can join us next week. Y'all have a good night, morning, afternoon, wherever you may be. Peace and love from the KOA family. We out.